Hello and welcome to another episode of Video Game Logic. Today's episode was recorded on May the 3rd, 2016. I'm your host, gaming psychologist, and with me as always, troublemaker number 1,
Caffeine Rage,
and a special guest this week, troublemaker number 2.
Hello, I'm Kyle.
Hello, Kyle. On today's episode, we of course will be talking about the games we played this week, and there are many of those. Nintendo's revenue was down 61% this last year. Valve revamps the Steam review system. We will have our weekly community corner and our Steam weekly deals discussion. Hello, Rage, and welcome to the podcast, Kyle. How are you guys doing this week?
I can't complain, but there's someone in my bed. Kyle, what are you doing here?
The door was sort of unlocked, and by sort of, I mean, a battering ram does wonderful things. I'm doing fine. Found myself a comfy bed. I don't intend to leave anytime soon.
I'm going to have to get the jumper cables.
Oh, yes.
Wait for me to get there.
A little bit of electricity should do wonders.
It'll do wonders for me, if you know what I'm saying. Wink.
Oh, that's for you afterwards.
Oh, baby.
And sexy party.
Always starting right off the bat. Yeah. Nope, sorry.
No, I was making a dumb laugh for the bat pun. Moving on.
All right. So, yeah, Kyle was brave enough to ask, and since he's a regular contributor, and we're friends with him outside of the podcast, we were like, sure, why the hell not? That does not mean that anyone who randomly asks will be allowed on the podcast. There is a chance, but just asking does not guarantee that. I just want to get that disclaimer out there right away.
We'll think about it, but that may be the mother version of we'll think about it.
What about you, Rach? How are you this week?
Doing pretty good. Played some games. Actually got a real phone for once.
Yeah, you got a... What was it? HTC...
One M8. So it's Australian.
One mate.
Yeah.
Good day, mate. That was, if memory serves, that was their flagship phone 2 years ago. So it'll be pretty decent even today.
Yeah, it's playing most things I'm throwing at it fairly well. There was one game that I had that was giving some pitchy on it, but I think it was more the game's fault than anything else.
Well, speaking of games, I've got a huge list. Your list is not on here, but you said you had quite a few games as well.
Yes.
And Kyle, I know you wanted to talk about at least one game in particular, so let's just jump right in and start talking about games this week.
Yeah.
This might be the most games episode ever.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, prepare for the 6-hour podcast.
Oh, Lord.
Which, to make it easier on you, this isn't going to... Well, I'll drop it here. There's my list as I go down it.
Okay, there's 2 so far. 3. Oh, no, wait, you copied the whole thing. Let me just make this a bigger window.
Oh, good Lord.
That's not bad. That's 6. I had, was it 10 or 11 on my list?
You had a lot. But
1, 2, 3, 4,
let's start
5,
with tradition, and
8, 9, 10.
briefly talk about what I played for the Sunday Sampler, because that seems to always have interesting discussions.
Okay, what have you played this week?
That one is Neon Chrome, a top-down twin-stick shooter with roguelite elements. It actually was fairly good, which is pretty rare for roguelite shooters these days, particularly one that pissed me off just a few weeks ago.
I can almost guarantee you that I would hate this game.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
looking
it's
at
2D.
it on Steam.
It's 2D and top-down. Of course you'd hate it.
And it's a roguelite and a twin-stick shooter.
So it's basically like the perfect storm for you to hate. Got it.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. Tell me about it, though. See if you can change my mind.
I definitely won't change your mind because there's too many things for you to hate on. But it's a sci-fi cyberpunk twin-stick shooter. There's a interesting story about trying to battle what looks like to be a rogue AI, but I didn't get far enough into it to get any resolution. There's something like 30 or 40 levels that you have to get through to get to the final boss. And I got to level 6 on my best attempt.
Okay.
what really impressed me about it was that the guns were actually they changed the playstyle quite a bit. There's a grenade launcher that I didn't get, but I did see in action in the game that was what you would expect for a grenade launcher, but it's something that you don't really see all that often in these roguelike games, where you're just slopping out grenades and trying to not damage yourself.
Right. I'm watching the trailer for it. It actually is a trailer in 60 FPS.
Yeah.
I'm impressed by that. A developer who can actually make a decent trailer.
It looks good. It has a good art style to it. I mean, it's called Neon Chrome for a reason. And let's see what else. There's destructible terrain in it where you're able to blast through thin walls.
Okay.
To try to get the jump on enemies. It's a lot more run and gun than the genre, basically darling Binding of Isaac. Binding of Isaac, I would classify as like a twin stick shooter / bullet hell game, and this does get bullet helly as well, but it's more run and gun like the old late 90s, early 2000s arena shooters. If you want
Monday Night Combat, or not Monday Night Combat, crap. Dang it. Never mind, just keep going.
If you want another roguelike to compare it to, I would call it close to Teleglitch.
Teleglitch.
Oh yeah, I know that one.
I've never heard of that before.
See, Kyle knows what I'm talking about.
Kyle knows what I'm talking about. Ganging up on me already.
Hey, hashtag Agreeathon, man. Team Agreeathon. Let's do this.
By the way, Kyle, don't be afraid to just jump in there.
I'm just trying to make my internet stop freaking out, to be completely honest. That's why I've been quiet.
Okay, that's fine. Teleglitch.
Yeah, well,
okay.
Yeah, it's once again another 2D roguelike shooter. This one promises also to have a level editor and mod support soon after release. It just literally came out a couple days before the Sunday sampler I recorded. But it's so far promising. I really enjoyed it. I'm probably going to play it some more. I doubt I'll ever beat the game because it gets damn hard.
So there's an actual end?
Level 6. There is a Wink edition. Also,
okay.
There's I forgot to mention this. There's a progression system in it as well, where that as you do your runs and get currency, you're able to basically boost up the assets that they call them. Basically the cyborgs or robots that you're controlling remotely. You're able to boost up their health, their damage, their luck, energy, that sort of thing. And also, it's using the Rogue Legacy style of when you start, you have a choice of 3 random ones to pick from class-wise. But you're able to manipulate that a bit by spending money on the enhancements that you get, which are different, basically power-ups, the weapon that you start with, or that sort of thing. It's an interesting take. It's adjusting the Rogue Legacy style a little bit. And I know I'm throwing out a lot of roguelite element games because there's really not a way to talk about this game without invoking other roguelite games.
Okay. Yeah. So is this like something you would have to play with a gamepad or KBNM work?
I played it with mouse and keyboard, to be completely honest. And I played it fine.
All right. Sweet.
I would say that probably, unless you're really used to playing with the gamepad, I'd say it works fine with the mouse and keyboard.
All right.
Yeah, most twin stick shooters do. I mean, I have played my fair share of them. There are some of them that I do like. It just depends on other genre elements that are thrown in with them. But for example, the Halo twin stick shooters do not play well on mouse and keyboard. I don't know why, they just don't. But for the most part, twin stick shooters I've played, mouse and keyboard work fine. Have you played Gungeon, Rage?
No, I haven't, but I have seen it.
Okay.
This is run and gun like Gungeon.
I was going to say,
it doesn't have the knocking over tables, and it doesn't have limited ammo on the guns, but it does have clips, which was my big complaint about another roguelite game that I played. What was it, 2-3 weeks ago now?
2-3 weeks ago, the first-person shooter.
Yeah, Bunker Punks.
Bunker Punks.
Everything was limitless clips. It has clips, but it doesn't have an ammo counter, which is a better compromise in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, this just like heavily reminds me of Gungeon. I have played neither of them. Actually, I want to play Enter the Gungeon. When it's on sale, I plan on picking up. I just have heard so many good things about that game. Even though it's not a genre I normally play, I'm interested in trying it out. But yeah, this just looks similar to me. And you know, someone out there listening who is familiar with the genre might be like, "Well, this is." Those are two very different things, but.
From what I saw of Enter the Gungeon and when I played of Neon Chrome, I would say Neon Chrome is less of a bullet hell game than Enter the Gungeon. It does have its bullet hell moments, but it's not quite there. That's the big difference. That and little nuanced things.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks interesting, at the very least.
Yeah. So, next game on your list then? Or do you have anything else that you'd like to add to it?
Not really. So, let's go to my first mobile game that I played.
Oh, mobile. Okay, mobile games. I'm excited. Your first forte into the mobile market.
Yeah, I decided to get into Fallout Shelter.
Okay,
Alright.
that's... Okay, I can talk about Fallout Shelter. I've played that pretty
I
extensively.
found it disappointing. And I think the reason why was I was going into it thinking it was a different genre. I was going into it thinking it was going to be more of a management game and less of a clicker. And I think that's where it really falls apart. As I was playing it, I kept thinking, God, I wish this was on PC so it was actually a management game instead of clicking the canteen to get food to add it to the bar, and nobody ever does. It just automatically ticks down. I would have loved to have seen not quite the level of Dwarf Fortress, but a Dwarf Fortress style management game where you're having to consider your building style. Have it where things are compressed enough where your vault dwellers are actually able to go between the buildings or the rooms easily enough that they can complete their tasks throughout the day. I think I was going into it with different expectations of what it needed.
Yeah, Fallout Shelter was pretty disappointing. I played it as soon as it released on Android devices last year. I'm not 100% sure when that was, sometime around August, I think, August or September.
Yeah, it was right before Fallout 4 dropped.
Yeah, I played it for probably 2 months, off and on. I got up to over 100 survivors, which when you hit 100 vault dwellers, that's whenever you unlock the last room.
Yeah,
and once I did
they space out the room unlocks ungodly amount, and basically I've been having everyone gangbang this one legendary chick that I got.
Yeah. Atta boy. That's what you do. That's what I do.
Well, hold up. To be fair, Jared. At a pipped boy. Sorry, that was terrible.
Well done. You fit right in here. No, that's
Is this
what
what
I did.
it's like?
Yeah, that's what it's like for me.
Okay, that's it. The podcast is releasing on 11:59 this week.
But no, you have a harem room when you put all of your best chicks in there and just rotate dudes out.
Oh, so
That's what you do. That's how you grow your vault population.
Vault is still too small to just have her dedicated to that. So she basically goes in, gets fucked, and then goes back to the canteen.
So here's a little trick. Pregnant women can't die. So if you want to make your vault invincible, go for all females except for one dude. Get all the females pregnant and then never have the babies. Like, you have to max out your population before that can happen. It takes a while, but then your vault will become invincible.
Huh. That's interesting.
So what you're saying is a viable Fallout 4 build ought to be pregnant chick.
Yeah, because then you would be invincible by default.
I wonder if that's a perk.
This is the complete opposite of what I'm used to, because I'm a Dwarf Fortress player, and that isn't on my list for this week. I'm in the pre-game of watching tutorials and getting used to the game again.
Yeah.
You don't want women, pregnant in the military because they tend to, what's the proper way to say it? Use their babies as shields. I'm not joking on this. They'll take their baby into battle, use the baby as a shield. The baby gets killed. They freak out, kill everyone, including their own side. Then comes back to the fort and kills everyone there. I've had it happen.
That sounds amazing.
Holy crap.
You would love Dwarf Fortress if you get beyond the graphics, which there are ways to get around it.
Well, I mean, the graphics don't bother me anyways. Eventually, it's on the list. Eventually, I'll get to Dwarf Fortress.
Yeah, you'll play that and think, what the hell is wrong with me suggesting this? But you'll also get a deep, seething hatred for elves.
I love elves. I don't think that'll ever happen.
Just wait till you see the prissy little assholes that are in Dwarf Fortress, then you'll change your mind. Let's put it this way. They'll sell you a piece of wood. You try to sell it back to them. The exact same piece of wood, mind you. They'll get pissed at you for murdering trees, pack up shop and leave, and then declare war on you.
Nice.
Sounds like
There's a reason why my trade depots have a little feature called a drowning chamber.
That's amazing.
Fantastic.
So what? They get mad at you, you just drown them?
They get pissed with me, I close the doors and start flooding the place.
Well,
nice.
They are elves.
They'll still declare war on me, but then I get free goods.
Nice.
And the lovely thing is that there's this quirk, which I assume that they'll fix eventually, is that caged animals do not drown while they're in cages. So they're like waterproof cages. So I'll get like war bears and stuff like that for my army.
That sounds pretty legit. Why not just do that all the time? Why even try and trade with them? Just drown everybody that comes to trade with you.
Because elves are damn annoying. They ambush you and they're able to scale walls pretty easily.
All right.
Little prissy bastards.
So, anything else on Fallout Shelter?
Other than my disappointment on it, I am still playing it, mostly because I enjoy sending people out into the wasteland and seeing what they get. That's about the only enjoyment from it for me.
Or seeing how they die.
Yeah, well, I play it for like 30 seconds to a minute usually, unless there's some sort of achievement that I have to work towards. Like, I got one that I'm working on right now, which is get 150 water in under a minute.
Yeah.
And it's worth something like 1,500 caps. So, you know, it's worth trying to work that out. Basically, I have to get good rolls on like 3 or 4 rushes on my water treatment plant. And if I fail one, I basically have to quit and let it just the chance fall back down to about 30%, I think is the baseline. But yeah, just general disappointment with it.
Have you opened any lunch boxes yet? I think you get like 1 or 2 free ones.
I've opened like 4 or 5 just that I've gotten through achievements. I'm not going to buy any.
I have to say, I spent way too much money on lunch boxes. I just liked opening them. I just liked to open them.
Did you have a
We should keep you far away from Team Fortress 2.
What did you say, Kyle?
Oh, I was making a dumb lunchbox joke. You had to keep buying them. Do you have like a bully in school or something?
Yes, he kept stealing my lunch.
No, not your lunch, just the
buying 'em.
lunchbox. I like to empty that thing. Oh, son of a bitch. Here you go.
He took my lunch and my lunchbox.
Oh, what an asshole.
All he gave me were the cards that were inside.
And,
They were
have you
Yu-Gi-Oh!
played since
They were shit
added the
anyways.
Pets, Jared.
Have I what, Rage?
Played since they added pets.
No, I have not. I haven't played in months.
Yeah, they added pets, and I got one pet that it's basically adding experience, and I gave it to the guy that I send out to the wasteland for like a day at a time.
Please tell me it's a hamster.
No, it's a cat.
I should open Fallout Shelter and just see what's up. I'll do that later. Because if I start playing Fallout Shelter, I'm going to have to rotate all the people out of my harem. I'm going to check out the new pet. I'll be gone for like 30 minutes.
And here I'll play it for like a minute, maybe two usually.
I'll play it for a long time and then like not touch it for weeks.
Well, that's because you're in the cycle, man. I mean, you've already got your dedicated schedule for it.
It's true. It's true.
That and you've spent the money on it.
I have spent money on it.
Investment on it.
I have some super high leveled people. I got like a level 50 person that came with like power armor and a fat man. And I was like, well, all right, he's going out into the wilderness forever.
Yeah, well, here's the thing is that the person I got out of the lunchbox, Starcross Paladin, came with a pretty good laser pistol and power armor. I took the power armor off her, gave it to the second highest dude on the in the shelter, have him bang her while he's wearing her power armor, give him
For
her
the
gun,
stat
and
boost,
then
baby.
send him out in the wasteland for 6 hours. Come back, bang her again, send him back out.
Oh, we sound so horrible talking about this, but that's just Fallout Shelter, man.
Are you triggered yet?
I was triggered a long time ago.
Is this Tumblr?
Wink.
Yeah, yeah. The SJWs are listening. They're probably more triggered than a gun convention.
Oh no, we lost all of our SJW listeners last week. All right,
Or maybe not. I mean, they do need to find something to be pissed about.
that's true. That's true. There's lots of that on the internet, though. They can go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Last Remnant. That's next on your list.
Yes, The Last Remnant. I'm barely scratched the surface on it. And I'm really, really, really hoping it's a growing up story because kind of hate the protagonist to start off with.
Not to interrupt, but number one, it's a bad sign where the first the first 4 words on the Steam page are literally made up words, and the fact that I didn't even look at the tags and I already said, this looks Japanese as hell.
Yeah, The Last Remnant is a JRPG.
It's by Squaresoft or Square Enix.
The fuck? Really?
What do you expect?
It's basically, oh shit.
I
it
mean,
is.
really, what do you expect? It's a Square Enix game.
I expected it.
That's like it complaining that water is wet.
Well, okay, checkmate. Maybe I should have checked the developer first.
I really like The Last Remnant. I have played this game. I've owned it twice. I owned it on the Xbox 360, and then I bought it on Steam when it came to Steam. And I've played it quite a bit. I've never beat it. I've started this game twice, played to roughly the same part in the game twice, never beat it.
Yeah, which is not a good sign.
I'm pretty close to the end too. Like, I just stopped. I enjoy the game. It's a lot of fun, but I just stopped.
I do like the tactical combat on it. It's not
The combat-
that you could just... well, let's put it this way. I had a game over because I just brain dead started hitting attack, and I didn't really consider the boss fight.
Right.
And got owned pretty easily. Then I went back in and paid attention to my tactics and beat him fairly handily.
Yeah, the unit or the what are they called?
Unions.
They don't call them squads. They call unions. Your union composition is actually a big deal because
Yeah, so far
in case
I
you
only
don't
have one union right now, which is not the greatest for building your tactics. I have like one union and then 3 guest unions I have no control over right now. That's
yeah.
As far as I recorded, which is episode 4. Only 1 is out right now. 2 will be releasing on Thursday.
Yeah. So in case you're listening and you don't know, and Kyle, it sounds like you don't know about this game. I mean,
first
it
of all,
is
it's Japanese as fuck.
It's a JRPG, Japanese role-playing game, and the story is, JRPG.
Wait. Can I guess this? Having never played it, can I guess this?
All right, go ahead, try and guess.
Well,
it.
All right, there's
spoil
some
it for me,
force
Jared,
that's
remember.
bringing the world to the brink of annihilation. So a bunch of tween-age looking people come together and who are improbably skilled with oversized weapons decide to kick the shit out of monsters and actual goddamn dinosaurs and shit until they finally get to the end, and maybe the head boss's person who's the second in command betrays him and is actually the secret incarnation of Satan or some shit, and then the world is but we need the world, and then they come back together and it's the world saved itself, so fuck you and your ending.
I can't tell. Do you hate JRPGs or something?
No, I'm just very acutely aware of all the stories that are basically the same story in JRPGs.
I mean, honestly, that's the gist of it.
Oh,
That really is the
and
gist
this
of
guy
it.
is awesome. Okay.
That really is the gist of it. There are actual dinosaurs you fight.
Oh, I was kidding about that.
Nope, there are actual dinosaurs you fight at various points throughout the game.
Oh, I'm having a good night.
In fact, there's an entire area of the game where that's all the enemies. Dinosaurs and giant, like, bee things.
Oh god. Let it be said, I've never ever played this game. I'm just looking at the Steam page.
So what makes this game so interesting, though, is the combat system. So normally in JRPGs it's turn-based, which this is turn-based, but instead of controlling individual characters, you control squads of characters, which this game calls them unions for some reason.
And I
But
should
what
say
you can-
very indirect control. You give them basic orders, and then they do their own thing.
Well, you start getting more. There's a lot more control in it that you don't realize yet because you're just not used to it. But you can actually choose like different enemies to attack and where they move on the map, and positioning becomes really important later, because you want to put in groups of enemies between you and like the biggest bad guys, and it's a whole thing. It's actually extremely complex. It looks pretty simple on the surface, but underneath it's actually very complex and pretty well thought out. But the union composition, you can do things that you can't do in other JRPGs. So you can put a healer in your group and different attack people. Like when you go to do your special moves,
They'll heal.
everybody will have their special move, and that one character will heal
Yeah, I've,
while
been
everyone else
doing
can
that,
attack.
with my one union I have in like episode 3 and 4.
Yeah, so like every time you can attack and heal at the same time, or you can attack and defend at the same time, or you can do all three. You can attack, heal, and defend at the same time. And for the most part, they share an HP pool. If one guy gets beat on too much, he can get knocked down or actually killed, which that's extremely rare, but your guys can actually be killed. It's mostly just like the merc soldiers, not... I don't think any of the leaders can be killed, just the soldiers that join you, but they can get knocked out. Anybody can get knocked out. But someone really has to be beat on for that to happen. Like, they just have to be repeatedly attacked and never healed. But the fact that you can do multiple things at the same time adds an extra layer of strategy to the game and allows you to fight much more difficult enemies than you normally could, because you can both do damage and heal in the same turn. And it just, it adds an extra layer of strategy to it and complexity that makes the battle system more unique compared to other JRPGs. It's a fun game.
Yeah, like I've said, I barely scratched the surface on it. I got basically your character, Mr. Diggs. Pretty late in, I think, the episode previous to what I ended on.
Yeah, you didn't have him in episode 1 because I watched episode 1.
Yeah, I am doing very long episodes because I don't want to play this for a year and a half.
Yeah, your episode's like 45 minutes long.
Yeah,
which is fine. I mean, I just turned it on in the background and flipped over every once in a while.
These are basically double long episodes, which I had someone actually complain to me today that my episodes are too long when they're 20 minutes. I guess they didn't see the last Remnant episode.
They probably won't.
Yeah, they complained that I wasn't doing enough jump cuts and my episodes were too long. No, I'm serious. There's people that actually request jump cuts. I don't get it.
I don't mind jump cuts, but they're not my favorite.
Well, it depends how they're implemented. I mean, back when I was doing YouTube, I never really did that, mostly because I was doing KSP tutorials, which we'll swing back to that. But I always just sped up the footage so people could actually see, okay, this is what you have to do. And I guess it's all context-based.
Yeah, there's some VODs I've seen out there, just vlogs out there that I've seen people jump around and they look like Max Headroom bobbing back and forth. Jared has no idea what I'm talking about, but that's a very funny joke. Just trust me on that, Jared.
Oh god,
okay.
Max Headroom, I haven't thought about that in forever.
But so far, I'm enjoying Last Remnant. Like I said, I'm not caring too much for the main guy, but I'm hoping that it's a growing up story for him because, he's a little obnoxious right now.
It gets better. It does get better.
I kind of wanted the leader David or David or whatever the hell his name is to
David
to get off his throne, wipe, walk up to Rush, and then just smack him upside the head and say, "Chill the fuck out."
Oh. Who's your favorite character so far?
I'm blanking on her name, but the chick with the gray hair.
Emma?
Emma, yeah.
Yeah, she's my favorite too.
Yeah, do you think I'm senile?
Well, yes, but that was completely independent of that response.
Yeah, Emma's definitely my favorite character. And then Rush gets better. I like him as well. In the beginning, he's a little rough around the edges, but I'm
Rush
not
was
sure.
rushing into things too much.
Hey, I'm not. I don't know if I would call it completely a growing up story, but he does become a better character. Obviously, I'm not gonna go any farther and spoil it, but he gets some pretty decent character development, I feel like, and he becomes more likable.
Well, the bar's set rather low right now. I mean, granted, he's north of Jar Jar Binks, but that's like seventh ring of hell there.
Anytime anybody asks you for anything, just give it to them.
Yeah, my last episode, I literally just started getting guys asking for loot. I have no idea what it does, but I've been learning.
It boosts their stats.
Okay.
Just always give them whatever they ask for. And if somebody in your party asks you what they should train, tell them to be balanced. I've tried to like min max, but there's so many random stats that don't make sense, and there's not a good enough guide. It's just like I just want you to stay the way you are.
I looked online for a guide for stats and found nothing.
Yeah, it's just like I just want you to stay the way you are. So if you ask me for something, I will give it to you because I know it boosts your stats in some way. And then if you ask me how to train, just stay the way you are, or train balanced, or whatever.
Never change, man. Never change.
All right. Wow.
Shall we move on? Because this is going to go for a while.
37 minutes already. Let's move on.
And I'm only halfway through my list.
Oh boy. I'll probably speed through my list. I've got several games
that you've played before, so there's not too much there. Next one up is a mobile game that I was doing, that I was playing while I was doing my laundry. I found this Sunday evening. Does Not Commute.
Does Not Commute. Okay.
This is a puzzle game. A puzzle driving game. It's ad-free, but the thing is that it doesn't have checkpoints in it, so it's the old-style Nintendo style on the free version of it, where you have to beat the game in one go if you're playing the free version, which I was doing my laundry at the time, so, that was fine. I needed something to kill a bit of time with. The idea of it is that you're given 60 seconds, and you have to drive from point A to point B on this little, let's say, basically a city block, but it's... you have interconnecting roads and everything.
All right.
You have to do this 13 times. Well, on the first level, it increases as the levels progress. The trick to this, and why I say it's a puzzle driving game, is that once you get from point A to point B, which takes, maybe 10 seconds, and there's time pickups along the way, you go to the next one. The second guy, as you're driving, you see the first one driving the path that you drove. You drive the second one. The third one, you see number 1 and number 2. And it goes on and on and on. And by the time you get to about the 10th and 11th one, things get rather insane. So it's a bit of a puzzle game, but it's also a bit of a memorization game as well, because you have to remember, I fucked up there, so the bus is going to be going through the roundabout instead of going around the roundabout.
I'm installing that on my phone now. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's memorization. There's also a couple different abilities that you could trigger before you start the run with a particular car. I've unlocked 2, and it looks like there's space for a third, but it may not be a third. It's just some extra space there. There's turbo, which makes the car go faster, but it handles a lot worse. So a car that's going mostly a straight line with maybe 1 or 2 turns, you could hit turbo on and pick up a few seconds. And then there's traction control, which does the opposite. It brings your speed down, but it makes your car handle better for, if you need to slow down because there's going to be a car that's going to be driving right through the intersection that you're going through, and you need to basically kill a second or two.
Right.
Or if you're going through a really windy course, the third level is, as far as I've gotten so far, and it's this long bridge, and it gets utterly insane. Let's just put it this way: out of I think it's 15 cars on that one, I say probably about a third of them go across that bridge at least once, and it gets fun.
Big traffic jam.
Oh, and if you crash, your car slows down, but if your car is completely incapacitated, let's say you get knocked off the bridge and go into the water, you rewind like Braid almost, but it also costs you a second off your remaining time. So let's say you start at 40 seconds with the run, you crash, it rewinds you back, and you have 39 seconds remaining. So it's not a game ender. And I would say that I would almost prefer playing the free version because the checkpoints, at least when I played, and it gave me the option of at least seeing the checkpoints, as the little bit of a teaser, I was getting better time remaining for the next level because the time carries over. So you kind of want to play the entire game the entire way through because you're building up that extra time.
For when it gets really tough.
Yeah. Yeah, like the first level I finished, after all the pickups and everything, I had something like 98, 99 seconds. But the checkpoint gives you 90 seconds. So it's not really a punishment. It's more of just a skip if you want to get to or practice some of the harder stuff. And also there's a bit of a quirky sense of humor because every time a driver starts, you see a little bit about them, like, this is the guy that everyone thinks is Mr. Lee, but in truth, he is not Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee has been gone for a long time. And then on the next level, he'll pop up again saying, the man driving Mr. Lee's car has just dropped off Mr. Lee's children and is going to blank. Yeah, that sort of thing.
It's kind of funny and also slightly unsettling.
No, unsettling is the garbage collector. He found a crumpled photo of one of the other drivers and has been keeping it in his wallet.
Oh, okay, then.
Okay.
That's your introduction to him.
Okay.
Fantastic.
So a little bit of a quirky sense of humor. A very challenging puzzle / memorization game. I'm not sure which genre to throw it in, just because of you have to memorize what you did, but also it's trying to figure out the most efficient routes. But do you want to take the efficient route knowing that the next car needs that efficient route more than you? So it's kind of a weird mixture there, but it's fun. I enjoyed it, at least in the hour and a half or 2 hours I played of it. Which is quite a bit for that style of game, to be honest.
Yeah. Sounds fun. I'm going to check it out this week. I'll probably talk about it next week.
Yeah, we'll see what you think of it. Maybe I'm being very kind to it. Who knows?
Well, Al, let's see how kind you're going to be to Star Wars Heroes.
Star Wars Heroes I actually enjoyed.
Well, that's good.
You sound surprised on that.
I've actually heard a lot of bad things about the game because of the business model and stuff like that.
It is very, very, very grindy on getting new characters. I will say that much.
Well, obviously, I mean, underneath where it says Star Wars, it literally says developed by dipshits.
Yeah. But then again, they have all the Star Wars games for the next decade or something like that. The way you get characters, I'll first say what Star Wars Heroes is basically almost a card collecting game, but you're collecting different heroes throughout the Star Wars universe. And you're putting them in basically RPG style battles against AI, but it has technically PvP elements, but what you're really doing is putting up against other squads that players have made, but it's still controlled by the AI, so it's not technically PvP, at least in my opinion.
Right. It's kind of asymmetrical.
Yeah.
It could be
PvP multiplayer.
Could be player versus pre-built.
Yeah, lots of apps or lots of mobile games do that. Usually it's like the Clash of Clans, like you've got a base and that's what players attack, and you never actually fight each other.
Never played
Yeah,
that one.
it's pretty much either player versus the AI with a pre-built set of units, or against a player-defined set of units. Now, where people are really upset about, well, I assume where people are really upset about the business model, and I do agree with them, is that it is very, very tough to get new characters. You're giving, I think, 4 or 5 packs a day of basically a crap pack, which has a bunch of just loot drops, and then you may get very lucky from it and get a character out of it, but what you'll likely get is something called shards, which you have to build up to create the hero. And different heroes require a different amount of shards, which some of them need 80 of or more to create the hero, which takes a very, very long time to build up.
Yeah, I've heard Total Biscuit talk about this game several times on the Co-optional podcast, and that's where I heard that the business model was kind of crappy because it takes so long to build up characters.
Yeah, it takes a very long time to build up characters, and I think I've started to hit the wall of where I can no longer progress without putting in money, and oh dear God, the microtransactions, they're macro transactions.
That expensive, huh?
There are, I think, 2 or 3 character bundles right now that are above $50.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
I don't even spend that much on real cards.
I don't always spend that much on real games.
The only card I would spend that much money on has video before it.
Fair enough.
Video before it?
A video card, dude.
Video card.
Oh, okay. Okay. I gotcha.
Yay.
Yep, that was my bad.
So it's probably going to be something I'm just going to be playing for maybe another week or two. Just because it is so long to build up the characters, but I'm actually still in the process of unlocking stuff. I've just unlocked basically the hard version of the player versus set battles, where before it was the light side versus the dark side, but now you're able to mix and match, and gives me an option of like 3 or 4 more characters out of my character pool, which most of them are just nameless goons, like Clone Wars Trooper or Random Ewok, or
Represent Clone Wars Trooper. You the man, bro.
But I do have Han Solo in Stormtrooper armor.
Nice.
The Clone Wars Chewbacca.
Okay.
Which is like the first character that you get. Don't ask me why the Clone Wars version, but there you go.
Because the classic version.
Well, I mean, it's the shitty version.
I was gonna say because they could squeeze money out of you for the classic version.
Most likely. Well, let's put it this way: there's like 2 or 3 different versions of Han Solo and Chewbacca. I know that there's both Darth Vader and Anakin, so you could have Anakin fighting with Darth Vader. Try to figure that one out.
It's the Metachlorians.
Well, after all, he didn't have a father. He's literally Jesus, right?
Yeah, pretty much. He's pretty much just Star Wars Jesus.
Yep.
Is Jar Jar in the game so you can go shoot him?
I didn't see Jar Jar in the hero list, thankfully.
Well, that's because he's not a hero.
No. I want Jar Jar to be there just so I can kill him repeatedly.
I assume that you're able to kill Gungans at some point, because I'm killing Ewoks, I'm killing Stormtroopers. It would make sense to eventually fight the Gungans.
I guess it depends on how fan servicey the game actually is.
Yeah. I'm on the 3rd set of levels on the light side, and barely touched the dark side because I only had like 3 characters there. Which is the biggest failing of the game, is that it's just so damn hard to get characters. Unless you're willing to put down $90 for not even a full set of characters. You get a couple characters and then you have a chance of another one.
I was gonna say you're not guaranteed.
Yeah.
Even unless they've changed all of the best characters, still you have to get the shards for them. So there's still no guarantee. You could spend $100 on the game and not get the character you want.
Wow, that's gross.
Which really discourages, any chance of me wanting to put money into this.
Yeah.
Yep, never trust digital odds. They can tweak those to their heart's content.
Yeah, that's why I
Yep.
never bought cards in Hearthstone.
I bought a few cards in Hearthstone. Eventually, I'm going to have to talk about Hearthstone. I haven't really played it very much, and that's a discussion probably for the next podcast when I put some time into the new update. But
Yeah, I've seen some info on the new update, and let's just put it this way. Interesting, but no.
nah, it's nah. We'll get into that once I've actually got some more experience playing with the new update.
Yeah,
I've
well,
played
shall
like
we
2 games.
Quickly move along to my last game, since there's not a lot of talked about on Star Wars Heroes. The business model sucks, but if you're willing to grind out and really need your Star Wars fix, it's not bad. Okay.
Yeah,
and
let's move on.
the last one I played was Revolt multiplayer, and this is what I thought mobile gaming was. This is the ass end of mobile gaming.
Okay.
Now, I should put a caveat on this. I absolutely love the Revolt game. I'm not sure if you ever played the PC one, but the racing game Revolt was just amazing. It was a basically RC style cars racing through real world, real world, and I use that in sarcasm quotes. You had giant cars that you raced around and under, that sort of thing.
Right.
Revolt multiplayer, well, first of all, heavily pay to win. Let's just put it this way. Revolt, its big draw, outside of being the RC cars, is that it is a combat racer. Sort of Mario Kart-ish. But
Okay.
you're able to pay to have a shield that completely negates incoming damage, a couple times, which is really all you need to get ahead. And it's just absurd to me.
Yeah, is it like, do you pay and you get it like forever, or do you have to
Yeah.
pay every time you want to use it?
Oh, you pay, and if you get the random roll just right, you get it forever, and you could get it to the last 2 or 3 shots, which is really all you need to get ahead.
Yeah, that's pretty crappy.
And also, all the cars are locked, and you have to basically pay the premium gems. I didn't see a way to get them without it.
Ooh, that's gross.
Yeah, and also you put in money to upgrade the cars, the stats of them. So someone that puts in for one of the currency packs can basically max out a car and just run circles around everyone else. And I'm fairly confident that they slowed the entire game down to about half the car's speed of the PC version. Because the game on PC, it was actually pretty challenging to control, but just because you were moving so damn fast. And there was a lot of bumps and curbs and that sort of thing. In this, it was moving so damn slow that it was boring to race. Oh, and then you were only doing one lap as well, which completely negates the purpose of having a track, in my opinion.
Yeah, at that point,
And let's see, and multiple full screen ads during each race, like one just before and one after.
oh, for a minute there, I thought you meant during. Like, hey, you should have paid for this shit.
Oh,
You'd be able to
no.
drive if
Yeah.
you did.
No, but they did have a pop-up that blocked my view, a tutorial pop-up, which was just really shit. Just terrible design.
That's awful.
Oh, that's
so
horrible,
bad.
dude.
Yeah, and the only reason why I checked this out was, Revolt.
Right?
So it's like just name recognition alone, huh?
Yeah, name recognition, that was about it. And I didn't even get to the multiplayer part. I was still in the tutorial stages, and it's like, drag to uninstall.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds awful. That used to be the majority of mobile gaming. It's come a long way since then, and yes, there's still plenty of shovelware and just garbage cash grabs, but in general, it's better than it used to be.
Yeah, I was really, really disappointed. Maybe there's a better racer out there that, isn't so exploitative because it also has energy, so you can only race so many times a day. And
I hate that. That's the worst part about free-to-play mobile games.
Yeah, that's terrible.
yeah,
That's just
Star
wasting
Wars
your
also
time.
has that, but they're actually generous enough with the energy that I didn't have to wait for energy to recharge till I got to level 20.
That's pretty decent, actually.
Yeah, they kept giving me bonus energy for leveling up. It would actually go above the energy pool, so I'd have like 130 of 60 energy, with 60 being my pool, or what I normally regenerate to.
Wait, so you can go over the max?
You can go over the max with the bonus energy that you're given.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
That's nice. I don't think I've ever seen a mobile game that does that.
Yeah, for leveling up, and also you're given energy several times a day. But the thing is that it's also only a short window of like 2 or 3 hours to grab it before it resets and starts like another 2 or 3 hour timer.
Right.
But
like-
since they're doing it multiple times a day, it's not that bad.
It's like 1 step forward and 2 steps back. That's nice and
Yeah.
then terrible.
So is that your roundup?
Yeah, that's the very end of it, and we're just under the hour mark.
It only took us 50 minutes to get through
Yay.
your games. I still have my giant list, and Kyle has still got his few games.
Oh no.
Okay, I'll do my list. I'm going to do my list. All right. So, first up on my list, and I'm just going to go in order. Normally I save Eve for last, but due to the size of the list, I'm just going to go in order. Eve Online this week. Not a lot to talk about. We had a super slow week. We officially joined the Alliance, and basically we're all just sitting around waiting because the Citadels update came out, which yay for Citadels, boo for the fact that the entire economy is fucked over right now and the market hasn't adjusted for it.
Plus
What
the
they
war
did,
profiteering, right?
yeah, it screwed up our war profiteering. So with Citadels, what they're doing to try and encourage corporations to move away from NPC structures and build their own citadels is they changed the tax system, and they raised taxes on pretty much everything. And the market just hasn't had time to adjust yet. So they're like all the taxes shot up, and people are trying to buy up everything while it's still cheap now compared to all the new tax prices. Like everything's going to get raised probably 15%, maybe 20% in cost. So like basically we just pulled everything off the market, and they're like, okay, let's just wait until all this blows over, and then we'll get back in the game because we don't want to lose money. So for the time being, we're just mining, which is not that much different from what we normally do. And then the war report for this week, pretty much identical to last week. There's still more drama, more upper echelon people and goons are leaving and talking about all kinds of problems, and they're still losing systems left and right. Pretty much everybody on the subreddit has written off the war as, okay, goons is lost. We're just going to let the Iron Bank finish beating them to death, and it's time to go back to business as usual before the war. So the amount of war posts and people discussing the war has dramatically shrank in the last week, and you can just go watch the systems fall in that little tracker that we had in the links a couple of weeks ago. So, I mean that's Eve. Not really a whole lot to talk about because we're just sitting on our hands waiting on the market to stabilize itself and waiting on our blueprints from the Alliance because they're providing Citadel blueprints to all the corporations. But they take a lot of time to research and copy, so we're just waiting right now. Hoping
that they have all the specifications correct. They don't go from metric to imperial units. This is a very small citadel.
The Citadel that they've been showing off in all of the promotional materials is actually the smallest one. I don't know if you've seen any of them or anybody listening has went to look since I talk about Eve so much, but if you look, the one that they're showing off is the smallest one, and it's huge. It's bigger than normal space stations. It's ginormous.
So in other words, that's going to take a very long time to build.
Yeah, it takes... How long does it... Let's see. I believe it takes 7 days to build and then 24 hours to deploy into space. and during all of that time, it's vulnerable to attack.
Ooh, fun.
Once it deploys, it's invincible except for a maintenance window, which you get to define so that your corporation can be on to defend it. But the small citadel only has, I believe, a 4-hour maintenance window, so it will be pretty safe since we play in high security space. The only difficult part is making sure that we can get it up. But
4 hours per day, or
no, it's 4 hours once a week.
okay.
Some of the bigger citadels have got. I think the biggest citadel has a 24-hour maintenance period once a week.
Jeez.
So it's pretty intense. But I mean, the only way you can afford one of those is to be in a really giant, powerful corporation or part of a large alliance.
Yeah, shame
stupid
one just
expensive.
kind of fell apart.
Yeah. Yeah, they completely fell apart. We don't need them. Get them out of here. Actually, someone I should have went and got the link. It was actually a pretty neat thing. Someone did like a time lapse of the Eve map from like 2013 to the present to like watch how they've like very, very slowly expanded and then stayed for a while, and then like over the course of, you know, just like 30 seconds in the video, they go from being huge to like being cut down to like a third their size. And it's like, and it just shrinks back down.
Yeah, so quick question. How do we know that the Iron Bank isn't Hitler instead?
Yeah, maybe they are. I don't really care. They killed the goons and are pretty much leaving the territory broken up. The corporations that have been claiming the territory have been getting to keep it. They haven't had to hand it over to the Iron Bank, so
Well,
they're all right in my book.
well, the East Bloc technically was still broken up after World War II, and there is iron in the name, so...
Iron Curtain.
The Iron
That'd be interesting.
Space Curtain.
Well, quick interruption on the Eve side of things for another space game that I think may drive you away from Eve. Space Pirates and Zombies 2 just announced their release date,
Oh,
Ooh,
shit.
when's the release date?
May 19th.
Nice. I know what I'll be playing
Sweet.
May 19th.
Yeah, it'll be Eve on one screen and Space Pirates and Zombies 2 on another.
I have done stuff like that before.
Sounds like someone.
I can do that.
Sounds like someone needs more screens.
I do need more screens. My desk is too small for more screens, though.
You have a wall.
Which has got a shelf on it with my second PC on it.
You have a ceiling. They make toggle bolts. Get a drill.
I've got a 10-foot ceiling. I would need to. I'd have to drop it pretty far.
Or just get a big ass screen.
Yeah.
Projector.
Ooh,
Sure, I'm good for
actually,
that.
would be good.
Projector and split it between a bunch of screens.
I don't have a good wall to project on. I guess I could project right onto the wall above my desk. Although then I'd just be like looking up the whole time.
Well,
Moving
simple,
on
you
though.
start playing Fallout Shelter as well, so you're looking down and kind of even things out.
Or one of the other mobile games. So I'll get to them later on, but this week I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go look at all the recommended games that Google has recommended for me and play all of them that look interesting, which is how I got such a big list of games.
Alright.
But next on the list is Skyforce Unite, which more of the same. I'm grinding, slowly working my way up the tech tree. I didn't play it as much. I took a little bit of a break so I didn't burn out on it because I genuinely really enjoy that game. But yeah, so I'm still just grinding away. Getting let's see, I'm up to silver bananas. I need silver bananas to continue researching stuff.
Okay, we'll go with that.
What is this? Diddy Kong Racing?
No, the guy that's the professor that researches technology for you is a gorilla, and you give him bananas and he researches technology.
Well, that's not
And
racist at all.
I was gonna say, that stands to racism.
Triggered.
Oh, but yeah, the higher quality bananas you give him, the better technology he researches you. And I'm up to silver bananas. We started with green bananas, then we got to yellow bananas, then we did red bananas. Now we're at silver bananas.
I'm guessing those
Okay,
don't taste
it's
too
kind of
good.
a dick move to give him a green banana. I'm just going to say that right here.
It is. That's all the crappy technology. That's like the World War I technology that you research past with the green bananas.
I'm kind of surprised he doesn't shit in his hand and throw it in your face.
How do you think you get the technology?
It does just kind of like fly towards the screen. It's like, here's this technology he researched.
That's just your mind altering a traumatic event. No, that's actually shit all the time. It's just all shit.
Actually, I wouldn't be surprised. His lab is a disaster. But yeah, didn't really play it too much this week. I played a couple hours maybe, just grinding and letting technology research and collecting the daily bonuses. Next on my list, Clash Royale. I took a really big break from Clash Royale this week because on Tuesday or Wednesday of last week, they announced that they were putting out a really big update that was adjusting the balance on a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh boy.
And I was like, you know, I'm still stuck in this place where I am. I think I'm just going to take a break, wait for the update to come out, and then see what the new meta is. And I might do better against the new meta after they make the balance changes.
They're introducing the Cthulhu decks to everyone.
They're making the defense decks more difficult to play, because a lot of the defense towers that you can build are extremely, extremely powerful. Some of them are, I mean, they feel overpowered compared to the cards at their level that they can play that they fight against. So they're turning a lot of that stuff down just a little bit. It's lots of little tweaks, just trying to perfect the gameplay balance. But those little tweaks will completely change people's deck composition. So I gave it a break. I've got a fresh, empty row of chests, and I'm gonna start playing it some more this week. But I did play a few games last week, but nothing too special.
So
sorry, go ahead.
Well, I gotta ask. I don't think I've been too evasive about this. MTG, Magic the Gathering, is one of my hobbies. So, I mean, how did they rebalance that? Did they just ban a bunch of cards, or did they just make a bunch of cards that can take out those defense towers?
Most likely, they'll just alter them.
Yeah, they just altered the cards. So, I mean, since it's digital,
right,
they can just go in and tweak the cards themselves. I mean, they put out the whole patch notes, like everything that they were going to change. But basically, it's like they would either lower their health or lower the amount of time that they will stay on the map. Like, for example, there's one tower called a bomb tower that stayed around for 60 seconds, had a ton of health. I don't remember how much it was, like 1,000 points of health, and had a huge range. Like, you could plop it down in the middle of the map and cover both lanes. So what they did was they reduced the range on it, so now you have to choose a lane to cover instead of just putting it in the middle and covering the entire map. And they reduced how long it stays spawned.
Oh, okay.
So they left the health the same and the damage the same. They just gave it a little bit shorter range so that people can't use one card to cover 2 lanes. Because it's extremely difficult to fight one of those things. The only way you can take it down is with, the only way you can easily take it down is with using flying creatures. Play some of the flying creature cards like the flying minions or the baby dragon. But those guys are really susceptible because they have low health, so they're really susceptible to AoE spells.
Right.
So they could get killed instantly, and then you just wasted a whole bunch of mana trying to take out this tower that only costs 3. Like, it's as good as probably a card that costs 5 or 6, but it only costs 3.
Holy undercosted Batman, Jesus H.
So they lowered its stats a bit, and there were a whole bunch of cards that they tweaked like that. And most of them were the defense cards that you can play, like the Tesla Tower, the
Basically
Bomb
trying
Tower.
to make the game more offense-based.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get a Clash Royale.
Yes, that is exactly what they're trying to do.
Yeah, was it Turtle
2 points.
Royale?
2 points.
Thank you.
So yeah, now we're getting into the new games on the list. So every mobile game from here on out is a game that was on my recommended list this week, like the Google Play Store recommended to me based on previous games. So Shop Heroes is a mobile game. It plays a lot like Recettear, if you've ever played that. I know you have Rage. Have you ever played Recettear, Kyle?
Is that the one where a fairy puts you way in debt and you own a shop?
Yeah.
Yep, I played that.
Yeah, it's
plays,
Japanese as fuck.
It plays a lot like Recettear, so you're in charge of a shop. There's not the debt aspect. You're like the top shop owner in your town, and so all of the heroes come to you. And you have people who work for you who craft weapons and armor and items that you can sell to these heroes to go on quests. And so they come in and they buy gear from you, and they go and they do quests, and you specifically can like commission them to go on quests, and they can bring back rare items and special crafting materials and stuff like that. And I mean, that's basically the game. You manage your shop, you build it up, you create an inventory of gear and items that you can sell to these heroes, and then you occasionally pop on over to the tavern, tell them to go on missions for you. And you can give them better gear, like you can equip them with better stuff so that they have a better chance of completing their missions. But it's like a gift. It earns you favor with them, and then they have better stats.
Is there this one little girl that keeps coming in and undercutting everything that you try to put on sale?
Thank God, no.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
I know exactly who you're talking about.
That fucking girl.
But so it is a free-to-play game. But it does some really interesting things with kind of the whole free-to-play energy and stuff like that I really like. So you do have an energy limit, but the energy limit is not how much you can play. The energy limit you can use to do special actions. So someone comes in to buy something, then you have like, say, 20 energy. And they're like, hey, I want to buy this sword. Well, you can just sell them the sword, which doesn't do anything. It has a chance to regenerate energy for you.
All right.
If you've spent some of your energy. But then there's other actions, and you can choose to bargain with them to get a better price, and that costs you some energy. You can choose to try to compliment them, and if they accept your compliment, you gain some energy, and if they reject your compliment, then you lose some energy. You can offer them different items, and depending on if it's an item that they like or not, it will cost you varying degrees of energy. And basically the energy is used to manipulate the sale to try and get you the best deal that you possibly can. And the energy regenerates very slowly over time, and then you can earn it by, kind of gambling on compliments, or just over time by selling items. It comes back naturally anyways. And so the game never stops you from playing, and the energy that it gives you is actually a way that you can kind of strategize how you want to sell your items. Because there are some difficult items that people don't really buy all that often, but if you've got enough energy, you can offer this item to someone and convince them to buy it from you. So that's pretty neat. And then it also has got town building. So the kind of the multiplayer aspect of this is groups of players get together, and I'm not sure what the limit is. My town has 6 people in it, including me. But we all get together, and you invest in different things around the town, and it levels up buildings, which gives each player in the town bonuses. So it's incentivizing everybody to invest. As opposed to just like you building up your own town. And so it gives you bonuses like the ore mine, for example. You invest money in it, and as its level rises, the amount of ore that you get over time increases. And whenever someone invests in it, you get a short-term bonus of instantly get 30 ore for everyone in your town, or for the next 30 minutes, ore generates at triple its normal rate, or whatever. And the bonuses are randomized. I think they change every day. And as you and the people in your town level up all of these buildings, it unlocks new things and new buildings, which can bring in new heroes and get you new items and stuff like that. So it's a very, very, very fun mobile game. It's a blast. The only problem I have with it, and this is a big one, is the premium currency in the game is so much more valuable than gold that proportionally it's awful. Like, one gem is worth thousands and thousands of gold, which is the normal in-game currency. You can get by without gems. If you want to do anything cosmetic, you have to have gems, but if you are just okay with things looking the way that they are, the decorations in your shop and your character design and stuff like that, you don't need any gems for that, and you get enough to get some okay kind of starter equipment around your shop, or to give to the heroes to give them boosts in the beginning. But everything very, very quickly becomes extremely, extremely expensive, and on the open market, people almost always want to only trade in gems. So that's another thing. It has a trading system where that you can, like an auction house or whatever.
You could do the Warframe style, where you could get the gems for without ever putting money into the game, right?
You could, in theory, yeah. You can sell items that you craft for gems. And maybe this isn't as much of a problem once you get to the higher level and you've got like master level crafters that work for you that can create like really high-end weapons. But at least in the beginning, when you're just working with normal average gear, it's pretty daunting to go into the open market and be like, I can't buy or sell anything. Like, nobody wants anything that I'm selling, and everybody only wants to sell me things for gems. So that is pretty frustrating, but it might go away at a higher level, like I said, when you can get better, or when you have better crafters to make better equipment that you can actually sell for gems. I haven't played it long enough to really know. I've only played it for about 3 days, maybe a total of 3 or 4 hours between those 3 days. But it is a lot of fun. It's become my new go-to, whereas Clash Royale or Skyforce Unite was my go-to for the last 2 or 3 weeks. This has become my go-to now.
And installed.
Sweet. So next on my list is Sakura Beach. I mean, really, this game can be summed up in 2 words. Well, 4 words. Anime boobies. Well, 5 words. Anime boobies at the beach.
I thought you were going to say huge tracts of land.
That's good. No, I should. Yeah. Let's do an edit. This game can be summed up in 4 words. Huge tracts of land.
You're not going to edit that.
You're right. I'm not going to edit it. I'm not.
Care for treachery.
Yeah, I mean,
that's actually what I thought you were going to say, though. As soon as you said 4 words.
Yeah. No, that would have been a lot better than what I said.
Yeah, I thought I thought your 4 words. Sorry. I thought your 4 words are going to be anime boobies, anime asses.
No, mostly anime boobies. That's 3 words. Mostly anime boobies. I mean, it's a dating sim, but the dating sim part is pretty secondary to just like watching anime girls and being very scantily clad, doing stuff at the beach. Seeing some nudity in there.
So pretty much about 90% of all anime, there's always the beach episode.
Yeah, this is the beach episode of every anime you've ever seen. It's got the characters from the other Sakura games in it, and they're hanging out at the beach, and you're playing like some dude who's a computer nerd or something, and
of course you are.
Improbably, like all of these girls have a crush on you, and it's like you have to choose who you want to hang out with, and bang. Basically, that's the extent of the dating.
God, that's like me in real life. Right. Except when I go to the beach, I generally don't go to the beach. I go out on the water.
But so yeah, that's that game. Next on the list is Star Command, which is a game that costs money. It was $4.99. I purchased it on Google Play. And it is fairly based on FTL in terms of the way the combat system works. So you're the commander of a starship, and the starship has rooms, and you have to move your crew around between the rooms in order to give bonuses to your weapons and your shields and that sort of thing. And you have to repel borders, and you can choose to, ventilate the air. I mean, it's kind of like it really genuinely feels like an 8-bit version of FTL on my phone, which sounds great, except for the fact that the game is so slow. So slow. It took me 30 minutes to get through the tutorial. Ew. Not because the tutorial is long. It's like, okay, move your person to the engine room so that we can get a boost to our speed, and let's go over and attack this guy. It's like, okay, let's go to the engine room. And like the boost to speed made it go from like 5 meters a second to 6 meters a second. It's like, oh my gosh.
Oh shit, now we're cooking with gas.
It takes like 10 minutes for the 2 ships to close into engagement range. And like you just have to sit there, and there's no like speed up button, there's no time fast forward, nothing. And at that point I was like, I spent money on this, do I want to refund it? Because Google Play lets you refund stuff for, I forget how many days it is, 7 or 14 days, no questions asked. And I'm genuinely considering refunding it because I'm like, if it doesn't get any better than this, despite the fact that it's a cool premise and the art style is actually pretty neat, I don't have the patience. I mean, it's a mobile game. Like, I want to play this game like for 5 or 10 minute spurts. If it takes me 10 minutes for the 2 ships to get to engagement range, like, there's all my time. So, I probably will give it another shot this week just to see how it does, but for now, I'm very hesitant on this game. Next on my list, Battle Station Harbinger. So this is a mobile game. It started life as a mobile game, and then it came to Steam, and Rage bought me this for my birthday.
Hoping that you liked it.
It was much, much, much better on PC than it is on mobile.
I was a little worried that there you were. It was much, and yeah,
much, much worse. No, it's much better. It's not awful on mobile devices, except for the fact that it's too complex. There's too much going on for a phone, and the controls are weird. On a touch, you can't do a bandbox with a touchscreen. You can't control all of your little ships individually. Basically, all you can do is modify their fleet position to move them around. And it's like you click on the screen and they move as a fleet. It's like, well, actually, I'd like this ship to go over here because it's a close-range ship, and I'd like this ship to stay back here because it's, a carrier, so it's mostly relying on its fighters. You just couldn't command things properly on a mobile device. It might be a little bit better on a tablet where you'd have more room to lay things out, but on my Galaxy Note 3 it was pretty crappy. But on PC it's great. So the premise of this game is it's a roguelite. It's got procedurally or randomly generated levels, which are basically like little star clusters that you warp between to do things, and it has randomly generated objectives, which they're all pretty similar, but they vary in number and difficulty and obviously location in the level. And there's some flavor text that I've noticed that changes from time to time, so there might be just like a certain set number of combinations as opposed to like just purely randomly generated, but there are differences. Anyways, so you'll be given your mission. You start out and you just basically go from system to system trying to survive long enough to build a fleet of powerful enough ships to complete the objective and move on to the next map. And you keep going until you die. And when you die, your run is over. And you're scored, and then you get bonuses going forward. So
you at least score, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that one legendary chick in my vault.
You score a lot. But so you level up. First of all, you level up, which unlocks new ships that you can use, which is great because you very, very quickly hit a wall where all of the enemy ships are better than anything that you can get. And then you also get permanent bonuses to your weapons and other gear that you can get. Like, it's a standard kind of sci-fi fare of weapons. There's plasma stuff, laser stuff, rail guns, different types of fighters and drones, shields and shield boosters and armor boosters, tractor beams, etc., etc. I could go on, but I mean, it's all kind of your standard sci-fi weapons. And there's different flavored versions of the weapons that are more powerful in some way that you can get.
Do they have strawberry?
No, but they have raspberry.
Damn.
But whenever you actually successfully complete a mission, that's when you get the permanent bonuses to your equipment. Otherwise, you just get points that goes into your level pool, which unlocks new ships. It's still incredibly difficult, even on the easy setting. It took me 5 runs before I beat a mission and could go on to the next map, where I was immediately murdered because all of their ships were better than mine. So it's not forgiving, but it is incredibly fun, and there's a lot of strategy that goes into it. And on the PC, you can do things like proper bandboxing and controlling each of your individual ships, so you can do much better tactical setups. So it's a fun game. It's only like $2 or $3. So if you're... Oh, wait, no. I think it's $10 on Steam. It's $2 or $3 on mobile.
Yeah,
But,
I think I got it for like $5 while it was on sale.
yeah. It's definitely worth $5 if you're... Whether or not you're a fan of the genre, if you're just like looking to try it out, it's definitely worth $5. If you are a fan of the genre, it's definitely worth the $10. It's a fun game. Next, this was another mobile game that was recommended to me by Google Play, Robocide. This is a pretty simple real-time strategy game. Basically, robots have taken over the galaxy, and you have to save the galaxy from the robots by using your own robots, which somehow are good. I don't know. I just kind of ignored the storyline. But you start every mission with like this drop pod that drops in and spawns robots for you. And basically you pick a point on the map and they go to that point and kill anything that's in their path. And then you have command units. They're called Titans, but they're special units that you can drop in that have got abilities and they're much bigger and much more powerful and have a lot more health. And basically you use those to turn the tide of the battle in your favor. And it started out pretty easy, but it's getting more and more difficult the farther I go. I've played it for probably 2 hours. I've gotten through 25-ish levels. And it just becomes more difficult, like placing you against multiple starting opponents or opponents who have their own Titans or both. Or you start with like no robots and they start with a whole bunch and you just have to wait for your base to build some up and repel their invaders. It's a pretty fun little game. It is a free-to-play game. I'm not entirely sure what their business model is because it's very, very generous with currency. So I don't know why I would ever want to spend any money.
I'm looking at the reviews for this, and 3 of the 4 that's highlighted are 1-star reviews. That's not a good sign.
What are the 1-star reviews for it? Because I haven't had any problems with it. I actually find it fairly enjoyable.
Quickly will top out and be very frustrated if you don't plan on spending cash. Just be prepared. Too bad the good games are also expensive.
Yeah, I see.
So it sounds like you eventually hit a paywall.
I guess I haven't hit the paywall yet. Because I'm only... in the first, 20 levels are on Earth and Mars. And I just unlocked... what's it called? Warp Zone? The Warp Zone? Which are challenge levels.
It's a set of 3 pipes that Mario goes
Damn it!
down.
You beat me to that joke. You prick.
Just don't jump through the wall and go down it before the warp zone fully loads. Otherwise, you go to the negative world and things get kind of messed up.
But the warp zone is a lot more difficult. That might be the paywall. It might be that the main missions are super easy, and then the challenging part of the game is just fuck you, spend money. Next, another recommended game. It's called Kept Man Life. This is a clicker, and you play basically a deadbeat boyfriend who doesn't want to have to get a job, and your girlfriend's dad, who is this banker who basically gives her all of her money, doesn't want you mooching off of him anymore. So you have to basically do chores around the house in order to make your girlfriend think you're useful, so she'll tell her dad that you're useful so he won't kick you out of her house. Which, it sounds really, really stupid, but it sounds
amusing, to be honest.
It is amusing, and it's got really fun little 1 minute manga story slides that play every time you unlock the next chore that you have to do. And that's mainly the reason I keep playing it, because they're really amusing.
I'm installing this right now.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's a really silly premise. But I mean, other than that, it is just a completely standard clicker game.
Under the similar, it says 10 billion wives.
Yeah. Which 10 Billion Wives is a puzzle game, isn't it? I might be wrong.
I'm not sure what this is, but it reminds me, art style wise, of is it March of the Human Tanks? I have it on Steam. Hang on. Keep talking. I'm gonna go look for this.
Okay. But I mean, really, that's all there is to it. It's just a clicker game. You click on the apartment to clean it to get money until you can invest in doing other chores.
Tanks.
Until you can invest in doing other chores like laundry and walking the dog. And you unlock the other chores by leveling up, which is basically you do things that are slacking off. You go to the batting cages, and then you go to the store and buy juice and booze, and go to the laundromat. And I'm not sure why you go to the laundromat. It's you went to the laundromat and played around. It's why would I go to a laundromat to play? I think that might be something that doesn't translate very well from wherever this game was
No, it's
developed.
simple. You get an unbalanced load and you ride the dryer around.
Fuck.
It's pretty silly and funny though. So my final game on the list.
Hey, we're almost done.
Well, we still have Kyle's games. Final game on the
We're
list.
actually going to give Kyle a turn at this point. I mean, we're an hour and a half in.
Yeah, he gets a turn.
Sweet. Thanks.
Final game on the list, Dawn of Steel. This game is garbage. It is, it's a Clash of Clans, not clone, but, I guess inspired game, if you could call Clash of Clans inspiring. But, it's a base builder, sit around and wait to collect your materials. The thing that drew me to the game was the picture of it, like the screenshots of it that they had, looked like you were controlling your mechs in like a third person, maybe like a real-time strategy type, controlling your mechs around, which I thought might be interesting. So download it, played it, checked it out. It is not like that at all. I mean, you do have a little bit of control over them, but the camera is awful. Again, because it's mobile, you can't do any sort of like bandboxing, ordering stuff around. It's awful. It's bad. I mean, that's really all I have to say about it. Don't play it. It's bad.
Yeah, art style wise, it reminds me of a game, and I'm looking forward on my list. And I have a feeling that they changed the name of the game because I'm not finding it here. I hate it when they do that.
But I thought it might be interesting. Free to play, why not check it out? It was just bad.
Or maybe it went free to play and I don't have. Yeah, it went free to play, and I just have a starter pack on it or one. It reminds me, art style was a lot of Air Mech, only a different genre.
Yeah, it's not fun like Air Mech.
I didn't really care for Air Mech myself.
Air Mech wasn't great, but it was all right. All right, so that's my list, Kyle.
Yeah, now, Kyle, you're going to have to
Say what now? I'm awake.
It's
I know that feeling after Eve.
Alright, I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna be that asshole. May the 4th be with you. Okay, I've immediately dated this thing. Sorry.
To
hey,
be fair,
we've rolled.
Jared did that before you.
We have rolled over to May the 4th.
Yeah, but he did. But did he do it today?
No, but I think by the time I got talking about Star Wars Heroes, it was May the 4th.
Okay, back when you were talking about Star Wars Heroes, I was immediately thinking of this stupid joke. So, all right. So moving on, I'm actually going to talk about these a little bit out of order. One, just because there's a game where I just feel like getting information out there about it is a good idea.
Okay.
Factorio is a game on Steam. It's currently $20 and it's in early access, which may scare people off from it. But it's basically like top-down 2D Minecraft if you're sick of actually having to craft everything yourself. The whole idea is just automating your entire process to... For sake of example, there's research in the game, so the research takes science packs which consume resources, and it's real time consuming to do yourself, so it makes sense to set up supply lines to build these things, and it's really interesting in that there's some things that can only be made in factories, only be made in chem plants. It does have multiplayer. I haven't gotten a chance to play around with it yet because literally everybody who I've tried to rope into this game keeps saying, no, I want to play the tutorial first. I'm like, no, you assholes, start playing this fucking game with me. But
That was me.
not just you.
Definitely me.
Not just you. One of my other friends.
Looking at this game, and I have looked at it before, I think it's something I do want to go through the tutorial.
I only went through the first one, and I have had minimal problems. Don't look into it. But no, it's actually quite a bit of fun, which is again why I feel like y'all have never talked about it. I feel like giving this game some sugar because a lot of the comments that I've heard about this game just like around the office have been, yeah, I'd like to check it out, but it's $20 for an early access game, and it's real far along. Like there's not missing features necessarily. It feels function complete.
That sort of thing doesn't bother me. I kind of got past the early access whatever a while back. Like, I accept the risks if I buy an early access game. If it looks cool, I'll buy it. I'm beyond that. But I mean, you gave me this as a gift for my birthday, which thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man.
By the way, in case anybody was wondering, it was my birthday last weekend. I'm an old man, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, geez, you old fogey. Well, I shouldn't speak. You're literally the same age as me, so.
But I had this
Damn,
game
I
on my
feel
wish
old.
list.
I'm older than both of you.
All right, let's go sit on
Yeah.
Rage's lawn.
I'll go get the gun.
Oh, shit.
Dang, things got serious.
That escalated quickly.
We jumped straight to the gun. But I mean, this is
Hey,
a game
I'm serious
that,
about my lawn. All about 3 feet of it.
but I mean, this is a game that is like everything that I want in a game: management, factory building, it's efficiency making. It's just
I'm gonna describe a situation to you, and I'm not sure if this is going to make or break your having never played this game experience. I'm currently having problems where I can't physically make enough iron for my factory, and all of the backed up inefficiencies are actually allowing the iron to get to the end of the production line. Not to mention, and I know this will probably speak to Jared and almost nobody else, there's like real-time graphs of all of your consumables.
sorry. Did you say real-time graphs?
Of all of your consumables, yeah.
Oh my, graphs. Oh, there's graphs. Can you display multiple graphs at once, or is it in like one single window where you have to swap back and forth?
It's really bizarre how you get there. You just left-click on a power pole, and it's like, well, here's all the energy that you're using. Here's all the energy that your plants are able to produce. Here's all the iron you're using. Here's all the science that your science labs are eating. Here's all the oil that you're pumping up out of the ground, and here's all the water that you're draining out of lakes to go ahead and make sulfuric acid for some fucking reason.
Oh, be still my beating heart.
Do you need to change your pants
Jared,
there?
do you need a moment?
I might need a moment. Yeah,
Change your pants?
I'm having a crisis, if you know what I mean.
You're having a first-person
he'll be in his
shooter. What
bunk.
melts your
Is-
graphics cards?
Do what?
You're having a first-person shooter. What melts your graphics cards?
Yeah, I am. So is there like a goal, or is there
Yes,
something
yes,
you're
there
trying
is
to
actually.
do?
So the very bare bones story of this is your dumbass crashed on a planet that, while procedurally generated and actually infinite, in theory has edges. And I mean, you can set the edges if you want, but your goal is to survive and get back off the planet. The goal is to build a rocket and go into space. I didn't know that when I bought it, but that was just like, holy shit, yes please, more of this. The rocket is fairly far down the tech tree, and by fairly far I mean it is the end of the tech tree, but you can start building the components of it real early. That having been said, it's not like a peaceful, you're just fighting against your own stupidity when setting up factories sort of experience. Basically everything that you build produces some level of pollution, unless it's some sort of green tech like solar panels, but the drawback to that is there's a day-night cycle, so you start seeing drop-offs in your energy production, which can negatively impact your defenses. And what you're defending against are these bug type aliens. I can't really describe them. There's a couple of different flavors of these guys, but as you
Kind of like from Starship Trooper bugs, or
no, they look kind of like a cross
So
between.
you don't want to know more?
They look kind of like a cross between the Zerg and those bugs, and I don't know, kind of xenomorphs if you squint a little bit. But the whole, getting back on track, the whole thing is every building that you have basically produces some amount of pollution. And like when you move the buildings, it releases a lot of pollution because whatever was there is just kind of in the ground now. So the more pollution you have, like, it spreads out, and once it hits an alien nest, they will come in and try to kill whatever is making it, and they are no joke. I thought that, my first playthrough was 5 hours before I died. And I just kind of wandered out into the wilderness. I'm thinking, oh, okay, they only attack with pollution. I got within something like 200 meters of an alien nest, I would estimate. They jacked my shit up. It was literally like, oh, I'm here, dead. So it's a lot of fun. I've got this really ridiculous thing right now. I might screenshot it at some point, but basically it's a factory that produces armor-piercing rounds and automatically loads it into turrets.
that sounds amazing.
It's pretty fun in that it really scratches that itch from my efficiency organ.
I'm going
Oh
to
my.
bump this game up my list of priorities to play.
Yeah,
This
and,
week.
it's been on my wish list for quite a while, and I'm basically waiting for the summer sale.
Yeah,
be
this
honest.
is an
Well, let's just put
absolutely
it this way. I offloaded something on the order of 200 trading cards when I got my mobile phone,
nice.
and I'm up about $20 so far.
Nice. Well, that's as much as Factorio costs, which is what we call a callback.
Hi-yo.
What's good?
Or trying to get this
how-
back on track.
How many people can play in multiplayer?
See, I've been meaning to test that. I don't know, but screenshots that I've seen have shown 4 different vehicles operating at the same time that have to be manned in order to be operated. So we're not talking trains. Oh yeah, you can automate your train network. We're talking
Yeah,
tanks.
you got me there alone.
We're talking.
I love trains.
I like
Oh, damn
trains.
trains.
But
Sorry, only reason why I don't like trains is they interrupt my recording.
yeah,
Choo choo.
I can see that. But I've seen I think it was 2 cars and 2 tanks just kind of rolling around, and I'm 99% sure you can't automate those. So I would guess 4, but I don't actually know.
This would be, I think, an interesting Friday Night Friend Zone game to play.
I can already tell you how that's going to go. It's
I'm
going to
not
be
sure about that, just because it requires a lot of thought, and
well,
Tabletop Simulator is already
kind of requires a lot of thought. Not really. I mean, once you get sort of the basic idea of what you should be doing down, it's just a matter of having 4 different people work together. Say, no, I want my electrical plant over here. No, you stupid prick, we have coal over here. But what about the oil? Who cares? Okay, and then it's basically going to devolve into people shooting each other, I think.
Sounds about like everything else that we do.
Yeah, right up until...
Well, I would say, well, actually, it does sound a lot like what Dead of Winter turned into.
Okay, that was entertaining to watch while I was absolutely plastered.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
maybe
I got
we're going to be doing
completely
it.
screwed over.
We're going to be doing it tomorrow as long as I can get some people to show up to play.
Yeah, which are you going to be around?
Yeah, I'll be here. Why would I not
No,
be here?
no, I was talking to Kyle.
Oh.
I'm going to go with a soft no on that one, just because of what I was talking about before the podcast. I'm going to be going up north to visit my mom.
Right.
So,
Well, if you're around, we will be playing Dead of Winter. Oh, speaking of Dead of Winter, the actual board game arrived today.
ooh, nice.
So now I have the real thing.
Yeah, you have the rules to read out for the beginning and ending
Yes. I
without
have
me
not,
having to dig up the PDF.
Nice.
yeah, I have not read through all that stuff yet. It's still sitting in its box, but I got it.
Sweet.
All right, so Kyle, what else have you played this week?
Well, this week is a strong term, Jared.
Okay.
I played back when it came out, and this is an interesting experience for me because now I'm actually able to, talk to you guys and respond to this when you were talking a little bit about KSP. I got to play the one.
Yeah, now we could be snarky in real time.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. So glad to be here. No, I really am glad to be here. Please don't kick me off. And they never heard from
Sorry, you're breaking up.
and they never heard from him
And
again.
Kick you from the call. Kick you from the call. Come on.
Shit. All right, but Kerbal Space Program, the 1.1 update. The one thing I will say is it was a little bit disappointing to me.
My wheels are still broken.
I didn't even get that far.
I'm in a holding pattern waiting for mods to update to be able to do my proper install. I have the basics down. It's just, people think Amy is crazy just because they don't know how crazy I am.
My wheels are still broken, and I'm upset about it, and I'm going to keep complaining about it until they work.
Okay.
Yeah, Kyle.
So,
My initial load is 70 mods. The initial load. My projected is somewhere in the order of 180.
well, admitting it is the first step to dealing with a problem.
Not always.
I have 9 gigs of RAM to fill up, and that's being conservative on my estimates.
That's the bigger problem. 9 gigs of empty RAM.
Yeah.
You know what I'd like to fill my RAM with? Working wheels.
Thought you were going a whole nother direction
What
with
is
that.
broken on your wheels? I can't remember.
They sink into the ground. They randomly explode. because of weird, I don't know, load errors. Like it'll pop up and be like, your wheel was overloaded, and it's like, we were just sitting still and it blew up. What are you talking about?
Well, that's what happens when you build your tires out of C4.
No, it's a sign Jeb needs to go on a diet. Too many snacks.
He's had too many snacks.
What is this?
Yeah, no, they're broken.
All right.
It makes me upset.
But like I said, 1.1 I found underwhelming, and that's probably because I'm going to take a stab here and say I've probably been, as far as time, like physical real time, I've probably been playing the longest here. Because I started back in, oh god, like 2011, I think. Yeah, it must have been 2011. It was like a super early build, and this was my first real introduction to like early access and shit.
Right?
Yeah, I first saw the game before the MUN was even a thing, but I didn't play it till myself until about when Maneuver Nodes came in.
Yeah, that was
So I've probably known about it longer, but I haven't played it as long.
right. I knew about it for a little while. I just could never find it because I always thought it was on Steam, like a doofus. But and then I thought,
Well,
oh, what
it
if?
is now?
And I thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool if games that were in development came to Steam? And then Monkey's Paw. Shit, my wish got granted.
Be careful what you wish
God
for.
damn
It
it.
just might come true.
All right, so I started
And
playing.
then the cancer spreads to consoles.
Oh. Anyways, so 1.1 is a bit of a letdown for me because I remember back in the day, we would keep getting stuff, and if any of your listeners also listened to the Kerbalcast, I was sort of recounting some of that.
I think that's most of our listeners, to be perfectly honest.
Nice.
Yeah, I think we're up to about 50-50 at this point.
Right.
Yeah, if you don't listen to Kerbalcast, go check out the Podfighters podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also,
Podcast.
drink.
Also, Biff Aldrin, hey, check it out, Caffeine Rage and I are doing something, so your move.
Well, he was supposed to be on here sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's never responded to my email after he was like, yeah, sure, when it'll work, and I told him when it would work, and he never responded.
Maybe it went to a spam folder. Anyways, so my point with it is...
So that means proud him again, which you love doing that.
Oh, I love to poke him.
Just send him a picture of an Ewok.
I'll send him a picture of
Which
something.
thinking of it, one of the characters I have is an Ewok.
Anywho. So...
Okay.
I guess you want to get back on topic now?
Kind of, because...
Yeah, let's get back on topic.
Alright,
We've been recording for almost 2 hours and we haven't talked about the news.
yeah, that is true. Alright, so I'm just gonna blitz right through this. So I've been playing KSP for a very long time, so I've generally been spoiled with very big updates. However, I'd like to talk a little bit, and this was really... I think I sent you an email about this, about how KSP won early access. And this is just sort of my dipstick measuring of... if an early access game is... Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Use that clip Use that clip responsibly. So, how KSP won early access is most of its early builds were free. They were really looking to just generate a larger fan base before they actually started, charging for the game. Now, you could reserve a copy of the game.
up to .13, I believe it was.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, I was just giving out a number.
Right. No, that is correct.
I think I'm right on that.
You are.
Oh, I am.
Hashtag Rage was right. So they were more concerned about making a product that actually worked than they were about raking in that early funds through ignorance. So they were able to. I think I picked up the game when .14 rolled around for like $7 or something like that, and it's 40 now. So I feel like a real smart man. But
yeah, they did I'm not sure if they were the first to do it and introduced the idea, or if they adopted it rather early on. That they introduced it at a very low price, and pretty much every patch they cranked up the price just a little bit.
I want to say Minecraft did that first, because they had Minecraft Classic, and then all through the paid
Yeah, but
alpha.
it wasn't with every patch. It was every major. It was going from alpha to betas when it really jumped for Minecraft.
Yeah, but then after it hit...
And to be perfectly honest, KSP technically had a beta period, but I don't call it a beta period.
KSP did
They
something.
had one patch.
KSP did something unique in that their beta period wasn't a beta period, but no, I'm kidding about that. KSP did something unique in that the very earliest builds were good to go, but they were also priced reasonably. You were paying for what the reasonable expectation was at the time, which is why early access stuff that you see on Steam, for the most part, is kind of a pile of shit, and why consumers now have to do a lot of research before buying in if they're a casual gamer and don't want to spend a whole lot of money all the time. I say casual, and they don't buy a lot of games. I'm not saying like, oh, filthy casuals, but
yeah, and it doesn't help that the Steam review system is utterly broken still.
Yeah,
and yes, we are going to be getting to that eventually.
Yeah, eventually, but basically because
at around the 4-hour mark.
Yeah, all right, I can stretch this out for another hour and a half. Let's do this. So basically, what you want to look for is reasonably priced for what you're buying, and this is like my super condensed notes on this. Reasonably priced for what you're actually buying, and also like a community. So, for example, KSP when it came onto Steam was like $22, I think. But it also had a very devoted community where you could actually go and learn about the game and interact with people who actually played the game, rather than just the smattering of reviews on the Steam homepage. So I guess my first rule of that would be, if they don't have online presence outside of Steam, and they don't, when I say online presence, I mean like a community, that's probably a pretty big red flag to avoid it. Number two.
Well, I'll counter that with one word: Double Fine.
Yeah, but they're not. My brain is flatlining. Son of a whore. They're not. Okay. Moving on from that. I'll think of a response. Damn it.
Well, the reason why I say Double Fine,
I know why you say Double Fine,
as kind of a counterpoint, is they utterly and completely screwed people with space-based DF9.
You shut your mouth. I played that game.
I did too, and wasted opportunity.
Yeah, it could have been great.
It has the bare bones of an actually great game, but they killed it.
They absolutely
Let's be
did.
perfectly honest. The community is trying to resurrect it, but I'll be damned if I buy another Double Fine game.
Yeah, I'm done with Double Fine, but that's the thing. They capitalized on goodwill, which a lot of indie devs don't have, as it's usually their first or second game that they're putting out on Steam Early Access, which is why I'm saying...
which Double Fine does pretty much only Early Access and Kickstarter nowadays.
Yeah, I really wonder how their finance...
Fucking hell.
I wonder how their finances actually are. That might be something worth looking into.
Well, they're operating out of one of the most expensive cities in the country to operate out of. They operate out of San Francisco.
Oh, God, fuck that. As far as a tech company, I'm sure San Francisco's a lovely place. I've never actually been.
Yeah, but it's expensive as hell.
Well, I'd be more concerned if they were in Guildford, which is where 22 Cans is based.
What about Bumfuck, New Mexico?
I don't know. I hear they have pretty good entertainment in Bumfuck, New Mexico. Strangely enough, rodeos.
Yeah, but not the type of rodeo you're thinking of.
Oh no, I'm sure it is the one I'm thinking of. It's with two large sweaty men and a saddle. Anyways, moving on.
Saddle. Here, I thought they would ride bareback.
Well, it's for support.
And there was silence.
It's for support. You heathen.
I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty fun to just sit back and like, yeah, this is my podcast, and I'm just like sitting here like listening to you two do all the work.
Yeah, what the hell?
So you're taking the Biff Aldrin seat now.
Yeah, I'll take the Biff Aldrin seat. I'll let everybody else do all the work.
Okay.
Press play and then walk away for an hour and a half.
All right.
Except I've got to do all the editing on it.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah. I don't have to do much editing. That's great. I love this. This is why I contribute. And generally, don't have my own podcast yet.
I'll write the show notes, and that's about it.
But anyways, yeah. So sniffing out projects we're supporting is important before you make any sort of like EA purchase on Steam, early access or Electronic Arts. I mean, well, you can't do that on Steam.
Good luck getting an EA game on Steam nowadays.
Yeah, no shit.
If it's not like 3 or 4 years old.
Yeah, they put all their new stuff on Origin only.
Yeah, I noticed that, which is terrible because I was actually interested in playing Mass Effect 3 back in the day. But now I'm not so interested because I don't want to download Origin because I hate...
Origin isn't terrible. It's gotten a lot better than what it was. When it started off, it was terrible.
I'm sure, I just...
The problem with Origin is its limited library just because it's like 95% just EA games, and I'll be perfectly honest, I'm not interested in a lot of EA games just because EA is evil.
Well, yeah, it's evil assholes. That's what it stands for.
Nice.
Thank you. But no, my point is that sort of market space monopoly within their own space generally can't generate quality because, you know, with Steam you actually have competition between all of the developers. Man, where the hell did this story go? How the fuck did I get here?
Video game logic.
How the
where
fuck
logic
did I get
is
here?
thrown right out the window.
Sweet. Okay, so going down my list. Blah, 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 blah. Sounding smarmy and smart.
Elevator music.
Okay, reinforcing my... Okay, yeah, so basically, any sort of buyer beware, caveat emptor sort of stuff really needs to be very closely examined before you buy any early access game. Because realistically, there's nothing to stop the deadline. I mean, any sort of early access game from dead lingering. I mean, running off with people's cash and leaving people dead lingering. I mean, disappointing.
You were talking about on your quick notes that you sent in, EA games that died. I spent about 5 minutes and I came up with 9 of them.
Okay.
Or that just screwed people over. Town, Space Base DF9, Broken Age, which technically isn't. It's a Kickstarter, but I'll throw it in just because it was just a silent clusterfuck. Asimur, which I got from a Groupies bundle. DayZ, which where the hell is that release?
God damn it.
Necro, which was pushed out quickly, then completely removed from the Steam store, and all the forums are pretty much just bug fix requests at this point. Goddess, because, well, first of all, it's a Peter Molyneux game. What the fuck did you expect? Stomping Lands, which has also disappeared from the Steam store completely after going through a proposed engine change. And then the War Z, which was broken on release, changed its name to try to get away from its terrible, terrible release reviews, and then had the audacity to use the DMCA as a fucking weapon.
Yeah, okay, I'm not sure if I'm a stupid person or I was just dumb in college. I bought 5 of those.
You poor soul.
I was poor. I was in college.
Well, let's see. I have Space Base DF9, which was given to me by a friend who had Broken Age. I have Asimur from a Groupies bundle. I got Necro as, I think that was a review code, or I got it out of a bundle as well. And that's all. So I have 3 of the 9. And those were all either bundle purchases, which I got for another game, or were given to me.
Oh, all right.
I don't have any of them because I avoid bad games. Sometimes.
Look, I was a little...
Every once in a while.
Everybody makes dumb choices in their past. Moving swiftly on from that, let's see, blah, 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 smarmy and smart, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay.
Elevator music once again.
All right, my final note here. Yeah, EA, and I'm talking about the company here, not necessarily the whole practice of early access. They're just a bunch of fucking dipshits as far as their practices, releasing broken games, and trying out just a bunch of fucking terrible ideas. EA, if you're listening to this, unabashedly, fuck you, come at me, bro.
Have you ever listened to or watched the series Extra Credits?
I have not.
Okay.
Well, number one, that's a good series, and they have like
some of their later stuff is kind of but the one I want you to go check out is the Open Letter to EA.
Oh, I know about that one.
Yeah, they're very end of it. where they read the old letter that they had from Electronic Arts in Gaming Magazine in, I think, the early 90s, and compare that to what EA has turned into, it's just heartbreaking.
You know, it's interesting because you guys are about to have a first on your podcast, I think.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
I'm about to call back to an earlier podcast.
Nice.
Do it. All right, so I remember you guys talking about this, and that's why I checked this one video from Extra Credits out, and I remember comparing it to Citizen Kane. And I think I said as much in an audio letter. So that
I think I remember you saying that, yeah.
So, yeah, it's really interesting, the idealism and how money can corrupt that sort of thing. Not to mention, they went from being more involved with their products to basically just trying to make as much money as they possibly can, while still maintaining some sort of business model that for some reason companies still fall into. And I mean, I get the allure of money, but it's like you're puking up gold coins. Eventually you're going to run out of whatever was in there, and you're going to start pushing out internal organs. Shit you need.
And then you die like Lionsgate. Or not Lionsgate.
God, I would hope you die
talked
after
about
that.
Lionsgate
Shit,
last
could
week.
you imagine that existence? Just gold coins for all your internal organs just all over the goddamn place, and then EA scooping them up and demanding that you do stupider and stupider shit. Where the fuck did we go from here?
Oh, they buy geese that lay golden eggs and then feed them shit.
Shit snacks.
This is amazing. This is so good. Maybe you should just like replace me. Jesus.
Oh fuck no, I don't want to edit. God damn it, I'm lazy, dude. I stopped YouTube for that reason. I didn't have time.
Oh,
You know what I do. I have way too much of my day job.
that's true. That's true. All right, so
Just
we
imagine
finally
when we get Biff around.
Oh, fuck. Okay, so take this podcast, multiply it by about 10, and that's the length that you're looking at. Which, don't get me wrong, I've been looking for about a month long of audio to listen to, but...
we'll never get anything done. Well, at the 2-hour mark, are we ready to discuss our first news topic?
I think so.
God damn.
You're going to have so much to edit.
I gotta pull topics back up.
Alright.
All right,
It's
moving
been so long you forgot.
moving rather slowly on to our first news
What day is
topic.
this?
Nintendo's earnings are down 61% this year compared to last year.
Fucking
And
Christ.
I think this is kind of all the choices Nintendo has made the last, I want to say 4 console generations, just coming to bite them in the ass.
They have made very, very poor decisions the last
The ones
since
I'm-
the Wii.
Oh, actually, I'm going back further than the Wii.
Oh, they've
where
made
they
poor
s-
decisions since then, but they were fine up until after the Wii.
Where they lost market share was with the Nintendo 64, where they decided to go with cartridges instead of optical media. That and that weird ass controller.
Yeah,
Yes.
how are you supposed to
Then they
handle
went to the GameCube and they put more. Well, they finally went to optical, but then they went with the small optical to try to make it where the console would be mobile for some reason.
Yeah, it had a
the
little
GameCube.
handle on it.
Yeah, I
You carry
never
the
quite got
GameCube
that. I
around.
was like, what is this, a briefcase? Walk into a meeting, hey guys, I
Yeah,
got
I guess
Mario
they
Kart.
meant it to be like a LAN party thing, but by that point, online play was a lot more of a thing. If the GameCube had more of a form factor to make it easier to transport, it probably would have made more sense there. But
Well, I'm going to go ahead and ask you, was it more of a thing? I mean, yeah, it was more of a thing on computers where you were seeing things like Counter-Strike, but realistically...
well, see, by that point, I'd transitioned completely to PC. So
Well, during the
Right.
GameCube, the generation that the GameCube was in was the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox.
Right,
which
and
both
those both
that
got
was the
internet
transitional phase for
connectivity,
the consoles.
and those both got like internet connectivity kind of like about halfway through their life cycle, I think, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, the PS2 got the
But wasn't
network
the GameCube
adapter.
also where they started doing that half-step thing where they released their console halfway during the console generation also?
No, I think they were right on
No.
par for that one.
I can't remember the release dates on those.
They
so-
only...
It was after the Wii U was when they started.
Yeah,
that
the
crap.
Wii U was the stagger step.
Okay, I
'Cause the
can't
Wii
remember
came
where
out-
the stagger step was.
The Wii came out with the 360 and the PS3, but it was, I guess technically that was the first stagger because it was not as powerful as the 360 or the PS3. It was about half or 3/4 as powerful. So then they released the Wii U to catch up to that and pass those two consoles. But then, the Xbox One and the PS4 came out, which were more powerful than the Wii U, and so now the NX is coming to be that half step again.
Well, getting back to where I was talking about Nintendo's choices of kind of biting them in the ass, the Wii was a tipping point where they got a lot of market share back. But the thing is that they tapped into people that aren't normally gamers, which doesn't sound like a bad thing at first, but then they try to sell them an additional console, which, I'll be perfectly frank, the Wii U, if you didn't know that was a new console and just looked at it and looked at the name, you would think that would be just a tablet controller.
Yeah, I was a gamer. I was mostly a console gamer at that point in time. And when the Wii U was released, I was like, what is this? Like an add-on for the Wii? And it took me, I had to oh no, this is a new thing. Well, why'd they call it the Wii U? That's stupid.
Well,
if you didn't know this, or you were perfectly happy with the Wii, which I imagine a lot of people that bought the Wii for...
Yeah, that's the rub.
Well, people that don't typically game, people that used it as physical therapy, for example, which was something they were heavily marketing during the early cycle of the Wii, was that the motion controls could be used by the elderly to, Wii bowling, for example.
Yeah.
They could use that instead of just pressing a button to do more physical therapy.
Without having to...
That makes the Wii U kind of pointless to them, to be perfectly honest.
Well,
and I think that, along with the name and the fact that software-wise, they haven't exactly done a lot with the Wii U. They're not even going to have an exclusive Zelda title. They're pulling the same shit that they did with the last Zelda title, and they're doing it on both consoles.
Title before last, Skyward Sword was the last console.
Okay, Zelda before last. I'll be perfectly honest. I don't keep up with Zelda. I know, I'm a terrible person.
Nah, you're good, man. But no, what the interesting thing is, especially about the Wii U, with the stagger step, they were able to do a lot of incorporation with it to sort of create an environment. But as you were saying earlier, tapping into new markets isn't necessarily the best move, because A, you're not going to get repeat console sales, but B, they're not necessarily going to, the people who you're marketing to aren't necessarily going to buy a lot of games. I mean, realistically, my Wii... it kind of just sits there, and it's a Wii Sports Resort machine. That's it.
Well, maybe you should go out, meet some people, get some use out of your Wii.
Yeah, just...
Hi-oh.
Yeah.
Rage made a sexy time joke.
Yeah, I picked that up. It's late. I picked it up a little too slowly.
My Wii U just sits there most of the time. My Xbox at least gets used as kind of the center of our entertainment system. I mean, it rarely gets games played on it.
So is it the one device that has all your entertainment? The one, as it were called?
It is the one,
Whoa.
as it was so called.
Callback.
But my Wii U only gets used whenever our friends come over and they're like, hey, do you want to play Smash Bros? Or do you want to play Mario Kart?
Ooh, good point.
Or Beerio Kart, as that's the more fun way to play.
Yeah.
And so... I've got a couple of games that I every once in a while go, yeah, I'll play this, like Monster Hunter 3, or I actually really liked Zombie U. So every great once in a while, I'll pull those games out and play them myself. But I mean, it's been at least a year since I've played either of those games.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say that something about the NX. I think if this console doesn't do well, this may be the last home console for Nintendo that they're doing. Well, if they're doing as poorly as this article suggests.
But we don't even know if the NX is a home console. They haven't said anything
we don't
except
know anything about the NX.
Right.
The release date.
That's just
and the release date.
That's just a product code name. I mean, God, I feel like I keep coming back to this, but like in Magic the Gathering, whenever they release new sets, they always codename them like Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Whenever they do that sort of thing, so that people can't figure stuff out. But, I mean, getting back to the article, 61%, Christ in heaven, that is over half of your revenue. Just gone.
Yeah, that typically is. 61 is bigger than 50.
Well, I may not have a fancy math degree, which I don't. But no, my point just is this. I mean, they're really going to have to either step it back for production costs, which is not going to drive people to them in order to recoup that loss, if they recoup that loss, or if they decide to go in a more mobile game direction, which, Christ, they do not need that. But, I don't know, are they nuts? In this article, I don't know if you read this, Nintendo basically said that its smartphone business, they're predicting it to quadruple profits, from down 61% to up 400%. That is insanely optimistic.
Yeah, they won't hit
Well, I
that
think
target.
a lot of people want Mario games, they want Zelda games, but they don't want a single console to play them. So I could kind of see where they would tap into market that they don't have.
That's fine, but remember how that worked for them last time.
Yeah.
See, the
true.
problem with Nintendo, and this we've said this multiple times, and it's a lot of Japanese companies in general, but Nintendo just doesn't get the 21st century. They fell behind on digital markets. They have fallen behind on third-party support.
They
a lot
fell
of their
behind
policies.
on physical media.
Well, I mean, that's what you expect from somebody who's led the industry for so long. Comes back to my ship metaphor. Big ships take a while to turn.
Yeah, which that was a great metaphor. By
Thank
the
you.
way. Yeah. So, I mean, Nintendo it's finally. I think that this has finally hit them. Like, oh, we've been doing this all wrong, and we can't keep relying on the same handful of characters to carry us. Like, you know, for lack of a better term, the fanboys can't prop up the business anymore by themselves.
I still think they need to shelf Mario for at least a console generation.
Here's
I agree.
optimistically what I would like to see. I want to see them shelf the Mushroom Kingdom for at least half a console generation. Now, I'm not talking about like completely erasing it from the history books. Maybe put like a nod in your new games, but come out with either some games from titles that you haven't touched in decades, or just come up with new and exciting IP. Now, they have no actual reason to do that because basically the 39% of the money that they are making is off of the fact that Luigi is named Luigi, wears a green hat, overalls, and runs around collecting coins.
Yeah, I mean, Mario is the face of video games to many, many, many people still. You know, older people that don't play games, younger kids who are just starting to learn what games are. It's like, who's that? Oh, it's Mario. I know who Mario is.
me.
He's that Nintendo character.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Super Mario 64 was fucking great. That shit blew my mind. But,
Meh, it was okay.
look, I was 6 when it came out.
God,
I
I'm
was too.
old.
I was too, remember?
Yeah, I know.
We're the same age.
Yeah, well, kind of. My birthday's at the end of the year, but
Yeah, we're basically the same
Yeah.
age.
what the fuck were we on about? How did we get here?
We were discussing Mario.
Oh, yeah, Mario was great. Mario 64, that shit blew my mind.
How Mario and the Mushroom Kingdom should be shelved
Right.
to try to push things like more games like Splatoon.
Yes, more Splatoon.
See, when Nintendo does creative stuff, I feel like they do it well, but the thing is, they haven't
They don't have the incentive to do creative
That's
stuff.
exactly right.
Nintendo needs to get the third parties back. That's the thing. There's no
they
reason to
completely
own.
Yeah, they screwed over themselves with third parties, starting with the N64 and just getting worse and worse as time went on.
Well, I feel like the tipping point
Yeah.
was probably the Wii, because that sumbitch was difficult to develop for, from what I remember.
Well,
Yeah,
let's put it this way. They lost Squaresoft due to the cartridge on the N64. And they lost out on Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9.
Well, Final Fantasy VII, was that actually a game that anybody's ever heard of?
yeah. Seriously, come on. Who's ever played Final
well,
Fantasy
I
VII?
realize it's a bit of a niche title.
Yeah,
but
just a
maybe
bit.
somewhere out there has heard of it.
Where, if you want to hear the plot, just go back and listen to that earlier in the episode. I'm pretty sure that's actually the plot of that game, too.
That pretty much is the plot of Final Fantasy VII and 8 and 9
Oh.
and 10.
Bartosik on fire.
6.
Hey, but
And
it's not
1
the
and 2.
but it's not the plot of Final Fantasy X-2.
No, it's not. But it is the plot of Final Fantasy 13 and 13-2 and 13 Lightning Returns
And probably the 7 remaster.
and
where
Final
they're gonna-
Fantasy 11, the MMO. That was the plot of the MMO. I haven't played 14, so I don't know if that MMO that's the plot, but it probably is. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that's the general plot of Final Fantasy XIV.
Okay, well, before we get too far away from this, the reason I'm sort of down on JRPGs is because back in college, my roommate played them all the time, and I wanted to kick him off the PlayStation so I could fucking play Dark Souls.
Nice.
So that's why I'm sort of down on him.
I was your roommate in college, except it was my Xbox. So every time my roommate was like, "Dude, would you stop playing?"
Dude,
whatever.
Dude,
JRPG
it's been too
right
long.
Now?
How have you been, man?
I'm like, dude, it's my Xbox. Go get your own. So he did.
And then it red ringed.
Actually, it did. It did.
Yeah, I think you said that before. God, half my conversations. Yeah, you fucking told us about that before. Keep it new, scrub.
Peasants, all of you.
Well, and
college was when I discovered PC gaming, really. I mean, I'd played PC games before, but college was when I really started playing PC games more. Because until my Dell XPS laptop died, that was a pretty decent gaming rig for the time, and I could play lots of PC games on my laptop. And then it died. And then I got my Dell, whatever, Inspiron, whatever, that I still have, and that was a piece of shit for games.
yep,
Still is.
it definitely is.
It still is, but I've graduated from that to a big boy gaming PC.
Yeah, I sort of went the exact opposite direction of you because my computer went ahead and died when I was a senior in college, so I'm like, fuck, I just need something that'll play all the games. So on a sale, I bought something with an alien face on it, and I'm not proud of that.
Oh, you fool!
Yeah, you fool. How the fuck do you think I'm talking to you? I'm just staring at that little alien face that's just fucking judging me right now.
I put
Yeah,
a
but think
laptop
of
on my...
just the
Sorry, go.
computer you get built for that price tag. Just think of that.
For $500.
Then you got a really crappy Alienware.
No, they were having some sort of sale. Like, it's worked. It's like 4
actually-
years old at this point, so...
This is the next laptop that I want to buy. I'm just going to drop it in chat here.
Alright,
An Alienware that
take
was
a look at
actually
this.
a good deal. That, well, to be fair, this Steam box that they made wasn't a terrible deal. At least last time I saw it. I haven't
see all
looked at
buying
it in
options.
ages.
Yep. I didn't really hear what you said, but I agree with you. Because hashtag
agreeathon. Love how we all went for that slightly out of sync on the Skype call.
It's going to be probably perfectly timed on the post, and if it's not,
No, that requires Jared to edit something.
Actually, a couple of times it has come together where we've perfectly synced up and said something.
it's probably going to sound
It's
like mush in the audio. It's probably going to be like, which that probably didn't sound fantastic either.
Well, should we get back to Nintendo?
The fuck were we talking about?
Right. Well,
Oh yeah,
I mean, what else do you want to say about Nintendo?
Well,
they're Japanese.
They
like
are
I said, I
Japanese.
think that if the NX is a home console, which I'd be surprised if it isn't, to be honest.
Yeah, I would
Because
also be surprised.
They need a new home console. If it doesn't do well, which they've already said that they aren't going to sell it at a loss, which they can't afford otherwise, right?
Yeah, they're bleeding too much
don't
money.
think they
I mean,
physically
Nintendo had a surplus in their bank account for a while, and I'm sure they. Well, I'm not sure, but I would wager to say that they still do. But they've been hemorrhaging money, obviously, for the last few years. Actually, their profits have been down every year for the last few years. This is just like the biggest nosedive. So.
Yeah, Nintendo
If
needs money.
the NX is a home console and it doesn't do well, I see them doing more of a focus on their handhelds or the mobile market because they already talked about how much more profitable going mobile would be.
Right.
My ass.
And if the NX does absolutely terribly, I think this may be the last home console for Nintendo. It'll be their Dreamcast.
As long as Mario doesn't somehow go the way of Sonic, I think I'll be alright.
Him whoring himself out for chili dogs?
Yeah, whoring himself out for chili dogs. Every single game that they're in is a mess for some reason. Like, all of a sudden he's like, okay, we've done 3D, we've done 2D, let's take this shit to one glorious fucking dimension. It's literally just a line up and down.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, let's take it to Japanese as fuck.
I would go with
Put anime
anime as
boobies
fuck,
in it.
but I wouldn't go with Japanese as fuck.
Put all those anime boobies
You
in
didn't
it.
see...
Tentacles?
what
God.
was it?
Mario with
Was it
boobs,
Sonic
that could be a thing.
2006's game? There was one that was... It was literally like a Final Fantasy opening, and then
What is this?
the princess summons a great warrior, and it's Sonic falls out of the sky, followed by a pair of chili dogs.
Oh, you were talking about Sonic. I'm like, what fucking Mario game is this?
You wanted Mario with boobs? Here you
Oh,
go.
Jesus, no. Actually, yes. All right, I'm on board. Please excuse me for a moment.
Oh, here's one that's like a really stupid, crappy Photoshop.
Oh, pretty please. Please tell me it's just a picture of Jugs that's been, like, MS Paint leveled over his chest.
You are not too far off.
Oh dear God!
Yes!
The thing is, we're on Skype right now, so I'm seeing these as they pop up.
Yep.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I'm sure that triggered someone.
Oh, here's one. This last one. Because obviously, we've now moved to the visual portion of the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, really.
Okay, yeah, I could be on board with that.
Honestly, my favorite's the first one.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The art style is pretty good. And, you know, it just looks happier.
That was just a Google search. Like, these are all in like the first two rows of pictures. Right. Okay. So actually, back to the real episode. Next up on the news, Steam has revamped the review system.
Oh, if the plane heard you.
They're proving Mythbusters right. You can polish a turd.
Oh, I like that. I like that. I just like, I don't know. That came out of nowhere. I like that. Good. I also haven't seen Mythbusters in a while. Anyways, carry on.
It's basically a coat of paint on what is still a very, very broken system. What they've done is basically split the reviews into recent and overall. And I'm not sure of what the splitting point is on that. I'm not sure if it said it in the
It's 30 days.
It's 30 days?
Yeah, the system's already up, and you can go look at it.
Yeah, it is up. I just didn't know what the split was.
When you hover over it, it'll say reviews from the last 30 days.
Okay, but you're still dealing with all the meme reviews, all the joke reviews, all the, this game didn't work on my system because, my system is full of spyware, or, it doesn't meet the minimum system requirements, and I completely and utterly and brain dead, and I can't read system requirements, so it doesn't work on my system. You're dealing with all of those still. It's just a coat of paint on what is a broken system that needs to be fixed somehow. And the problem is, how do you fix reviews? I can't think of a way to do it.
I mean, not without some heavily invested human curation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which Valve can't even do customer support. How are they going to moderate their reviews? And no, you can't give that power to the game devs, the ones that are actually
fuck no, you can't.
being reviewed, because they will abuse the ever-living hell out of it. I mean, they already abuse it because they can moderate it to a degree. If you give them complete control, that would be horrible. So it can't be them. And I'm not sure if I trust a volunteer group, because, who watches the watchers in that case? Who's to say that they're not getting a kickback? There was was it the Overwatch or subreddit that got just, it wasn't Overwatch, it was someone else, and I'm blanking on who it was, that was just getting so many kickbacks from the dev. No, I think it actually was Overwatch, now that I think about it. They were getting so many kickbacks from whoever's game that they were doing the subreddit for, to suppress negative reviews or negative posts on it, and to suppress basically footage that was breaking the NDA, which, that is kind of a gray area of itself, but it's not an official forum. So you really can't trust volunteers either.
Well,
unless there's some sort of system to keep them in balance, that they're not becoming corrupt by the system itself.
Well, I think that it boils down to the fact that anybody can upload a review. And while they feel wholly justified, the reviewer uploading, it's always easier to see life through your own eyes. To quote a movie, a person is smart. In the case of your computer, you're smart.
Men in Black.
Yeah, it's Men in Black. A person is smart.
A person is smart.
But people are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it. 1,500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was the center of the universe. 500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat, and 15 minutes ago, you knew that humans were alone on this planet. Care to finish it?
Jared has a friend that doesn't think the world isn't flat.
Ex-friend.
Oh, did you,
you completely cut him off.
Did you catch my flat moon theory, or no?
That's a shame, because I had some questions I was going to have you forward.
I thought I did see your flat moon theory, Kyle.
Okay.
I chuckled.
Thanks.
Come on, everybody knows the moon is fake. It's a giant egg laid by a creature that could lay its own egg and just goes off.
No,
Have you
it's
seen that,
definitely cheese.
Terrible Doctor Who episode?
Well, you just needed
No.
disinfectant on the moon, which for some reason works in a vacuum.
And does it instantly freeze?
Yeah, that's the thing that got me about that. That and that submarine episode. Back on topic. Sorry, we're veering.
I can't help you with Doctor Who. I'm not a big fan of Doctor
Oh, I don't
Who.
need help with it.
I've kind of fallen off on Doctor Who myself.
I watch it when it comes out on Netflix.
I will say, steering us actually back on topic, I think that this is a tiny
This is
tiny step in the right
Yeah,
direction.
this is a step in the right direction, but for one, they need to remove the funny tag.
They do.
That shouldn't be there at all.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but joke reviews do not fit.
well, yeah, there's a place
They
to be.
need to be completely purged from the system.
Yeah, there's a place to be funny.
And-
sorry.
Well, and obviously it's not the Steam reviews, because
That's where I was going.
I've read quite a few, and I've never found one funny.
I've actually chuckled at a couple of them, but yeah, they're not like those are very, very few and far between.
Right. Well, with the with this, I think this.
So I think...
Oh,
sorry.
you're good.
Go ahead.
I think this more fixes problems with early access reviews, more so than anything else. So I wouldn't necessarily just call this polishing a turd. It's polishing a small amount of spackle.
Well, it fixes things like... Well, the big one I've seen people say that it fixes is things like Batman Arkham Knight, which was... broken is not the right term for it, because it was way, way beyond broken.
That was WB, right?
But it... Yeah, Warner Brother.
Fuck 'em.
I agree.
But it does allow games that have changed dramatically, that got absolutely hammered for one reason or another, to reflect their current state. So that is a step forward. The problem is that it still relies on completely random and pretty much anonymous reviews that there's no accountability. One of the reviews that I saw was literally a recipe to make a pie.
That's really bad, but also funny.
And it was one of the top rated reviews. While that was one of the funnier ones I've seen, it doesn't belong on a Steam review.
Was the pie any good?
The Steam
Right.
reviews... it was a lie.
I thought that was a cake.
Well, see, that's the lie. It's not a cake, it's a pie.
But if it was a pie, does that mean it was a cake?
Oh no, we're going to have to get Gladys on the line.
This statement is false. Moving on.
And then all the turrets in the room just is crying in agony.
The AI are listening to this and they're going, "Wait, this statement is false."
I wonder if anybody's listening to this with speakers who has an Xbox, because I really just want to, Xbox off. Yes.
Xbox, fuck you.
Yes.
You are
Yes.
a whole. Oh,
Computer, format, C:**, star, yes.
Someone in the future, if computer architecture stays the same, is going to be very angry at you. Someone like 20. Yes, our podcast will last through the
Well,
ages.
technically it will, as long as there's electricity. The internet is functionally eternal.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, nothing ever gets deleted from the internet, no matter what Barbara Streisand wants.
So can we talk about her shitty house or whatever it is that she doesn't like?
We've talked about that once before.
Callbacks. All right, moving on.
I mean, I don't really know what else to say about it. It still doesn't fix the problem. It's a tiny step in the right direction.
Yeah, it's fixing a symptom, but it's not fixing the root cause. And I'm not sure if you can fix the problem. That's the problem.
Well, try fixing people, and then you're good to go.
I think.
Well, give me some chicken scissors.
All right.
I think the best solution, outside of hiring a full-blown staff that curates and manages this stuff, is to continue to allow the user reviews, do whatever they want with that system. Also, have a system that pulls in a list of official reviews from sites. And I know that can also be problematic because certain sites have received kickbacks and et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, hell, there's sites that downrate games based on their content, not for gameplay-wise, but because the woman is too sexy, or the game has too much water.
Polygon. Looking at you, Polygon. But anyways, I think that's the best that they can do without actually having a staff that manages it, because at least then someone can go and they can go, okay, here's what people are saying. Take a little bit of time and sort through.
Style.
Almost, yeah. Which I hate Metacritic for the scores, but it is good about bringing everything into one place. Yeah, and if you want to take the time to sort through it, you can.
Metacritic, which this actually does address, is that Metacritic is set in stone. If there's a problem on the launch and people go back later and look at it again, it doesn't update.
Unless there's new reviews being added, correct?
Yeah. Once a review is set on Metacritic from a particular publication, it is set in stone. There's no changing it.
Right. Even if the publication later goes back and revises their review to...
Yeah, that's gross.
To bring Polygon back up. When SimCity 2013 came out, they gave it a glowing review. Then everybody realized it was utter shit once you got past the 2-hour demo. Which, why do you think they put a 2-hour demo out?
Because that's where the game starts getting
and they
shitty.
kept creeping the review score down, take it down a notch, especially whenever the server issues lasted, what was it, 2-3 weeks?
I don't remember. I didn't play it.
Yeah. It was, I mean, you couldn't log in to play the game for some time.
God, I think I was in England.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't get that game. I saw the map size and thought, wow, they really put a lot of effort into SimTown. Like, this is SimCity? That's a very small city.
The reason I didn't get it, and this might speak poorly of my buying choices.
And it's on Origin.
That's exactly why I didn't get it. Also, I was out of the country at the time.
Well, that was also part of the reason, but it was because, at the time, Origin was utter shit.
It hasn't really gotten that much better.
It has gotten better. I will say that much.
I'm not trying to be snarky here. I'm really asking. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that you definitely need to buy games on Origin, because you can skip a lot of it. But,
sweet.
As SimCity's review scores kept getting revised and brought down, just because of how utter shit it was, and how, actually this brings a problem up with official reviews, is that a lot of times, especially for multiplayer-centric games, they either can't play the multiplayer until it's actually out, and they don't want to wait because you don't get those initial clicks, or they have a special server and don't have any of the potential problems from overcrowding or, just the glut of people that play on the actual launch date.
Yeah, real-world launches are really hard to figure out. I mean, heck, even Kerbal Space
Blizzard.
Program, not to swing back to them too much, but I remember their first KerbalCon, they had enough people that we could literally bring down a website if they brought it up and said, hey, we put some stuff up here on the website, with literally a couple seconds later just gone.
Yeah, I remember KerbалCon.
KerbalCon was fucking great.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was
I was actually in a UGC Highlander team at the time, and I told them, "Fuck you, I'm not." Well, first of all, it was my birthday when they were doing either the first or the second KerbalCon. So I said, "I'm taking my birthday off. I'm not doing Highlander practice," and they got pissed with me.
Was this the one where you were being a class that was uncommon, and then your team kind of broke apart?
Actually, my class is kind of common. I was playing heavy.
That's what I thought you were playing.
Yeah, only problem is that heavy is a very, very common entry class, but I was actually really good at it. My last Highlander match, I held a room by myself for something like 10 minutes.
Ah, yes.
I would have every so often I would get a heal from our medic. But I was basically this immovable object and just had them set a terrible, terrible time for us to beat.
Nice. Well, not to belittle it, because I know there's actual skill involved. I did play TF2 back in the day. All the skill of holding down the left mouse button.
I have you know it was holding down the right mouse button.
Oh, shit!
That's intense right
which
there.
Which is why it's not played that well on a Mac.
Ooh.
Well done. Well done. Well, I think that with that, we can move on to our very, very tiny community corner this week.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, first up is Kyle with an audio letter.
Okay.
Come on.
Hey, guys. I don't know if you knew this. I'm on your podcast this week. It's fantastic, right? I mean, all of the horrible Franken episode crap that people aren't going to know about. And if Jared actually takes this out of me just monologuing for a second being an idiot, you guys won't hear this anyways. So, Temporal Paradox.
We got him monologuing.
You sly
Oh,
dog.
I'm definitely going to leave the part in where you sound like an idiot.
Well, if you really... Okay, I should...
Also, all of them.
I should be careful what I say. I was about to give you some audio fodder.
Oh, you've already given me plenty.
No, I'm talking about my... Okay, behind the scenes a little bit. I do heavily edit my audio letters just so that they're not, like, rambling, as you've seen that I can do. And if I screw up a take, it will just devolve into basically this. So the Apollo lunar landing was essentially the most important... And that's the stuff that gets cut. And that happens on your show, too. You just never hear it. So congratulations, you've finally heard my stupid... Whenever my brain just kind of shifts gears abruptly.
Oh, no, it's fine. We screw up all the time, too. It's just I'm lazy and leave it in lots of times. Plus, you know, it makes us more personable. It's like, hey, we're not perfect. We screw up, too.
Yeah.
And we say the word fuck a lot.
Yeah, I fucking love that about your podcast. I don't get to swear
Well,
much
thank
at
you.
work. Yeah, if you want, I can be like, yeah, your podcast is fucking great. I listen to it at work because my job up until recently has been very mindless. And then I got a sort of promotion, and now I actually have to think, and so I have to listen to it on the weekends. And now you guys are eating up my weekend time, you dicks.
Well, I mean, really, we're the best ones to spend a weekend with, if you're honest.
Yeah, I mean, I did show up on Friday night, buy a game, download it, complain about it, get drunk, count it down, and then,
Oh, no, I don't think you complained about it enough. Jim has that department pretty much locked down.
Yeah, he's still the biggest complainer.
He's the Francis of the group.
Look, I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember a whole lot of that night. I kinda remember coming to and playing Uno, but that's about it.
Well, I had to go pretty much when you were taking over, so unfortunately I missed out on that. Is that on the VOD?
I think.
At some point I stopped recording. I don't remember when. We were playing Uno, I think. I think we got to the Uno part.
I remember I had to stop watching because it was bandwidth, like, allocation or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, your internet was crapping out on you that
Yeah,
night.
it was kind of crapping out at the beginning of tonight, too.
Yeah.
So that's my audio letter.
So,
I'm really
that was
interested
the
to hear
audio
what y'all
letter.
think about that. Thanks for listening.
Yep, you suck, and we
You have made a terrible
gonna-
error.
we're gonna highlight that in the show, and You know, you might never write back into us, but that's okay.
It was worth it for one glorious roast.
Oh. All right. So that means it's time for our tweets.
Sweet.
Okay, I cut out all of Kyle's tweets because you know he was already here.
I don't know. I don't
Right.
think I've gotten enough screen time.
Let's see, Andrew Mason. I was thinking that don't pre-order video games as the second rule. The first was talk about how PCs are better than consoles.
PC Master Race.
Which, yeah, that's exactly why I tweeted back to him.
Glorious PC Master Race.
Nice.
And he also started to ask, does purchasing games in alpha count as pre-ordering? There's a chance that they'll never be finished, or that during development they decide microtransactions are the best. And I'm going to go with no, just because of how I separate them is that usually buying a game, I'm assuming alpha, he means early access,
Yeah.
or even Kickstarter. Without those purchases, the game usually, not always, won't exist. So that's how I kind of split the difference there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I responded to him and I said, no, since you're buying it and receiving a product, it's just not a finished product.
Well,
Yeah,
So it's not the same as pre-ordering.
The problem with buying early access is that you can't even say or make the rule that you have to be happy with the current product, because the current product could be completely changed in the next patch.
right.
I mean, just look at Goddess.
Right, and that gets back to like leveraging your money now against a potential future product, which I don't know. I've always come out against that, and I say, hey, 3-hour mark, which I've always come out against that.
Call the time, take a shot.
Speaking of a new drinking game,
Oh, please, piss no.
Ghost Shark wrote in and said, new drinking game edition. Every time I mention the broken computer in my letter, drink. Which, I have a question on that. Ghost Shark, do you mean we drink or you drink?
I think we all drink.
I think it would help him forget that his computer's broken.
And I also made a note, that was actually the last tweet. We were pretty light on tweets as well.
Well, I just sent one into
I want to
the
make
chat.
it absolutely clear that we aren't just on YouTube. We had a tweet to Jared, which I didn't save, unfortunately, but it was a pretty long conversation. A trucker that listened to our podcast through, I think it was Jared's VODs.
Yeah, he was. I'm going to pull up the conversation right now.
Yeah, go get his name, because I in order for me to save a tweet to the VGL Twitter, I have to switch browsers and go hunt it down, and I didn't do that. And it's hunting that down a tweet to someone else is very tough, actually.
Yeah, his name is Dane Unicorn, and he basically was asking. Well, the first tweet was, "Do you ever do anything related to what you're talking about in the video?" Because he made that tweet in response to.
Yeah, which you usually just use B-reel footage anyway, don't you?
Yeah, that's all I ever do is just be real.
Yeah, and mine is the lazy content where it's just a static image.
But yeah, basically he was, and I used to do this, but I don't anymore. It was put the link to the MP3 for the episode and then the RSS feed in the description. And I think that they're in there still, but they're more towards the bottom. So I'm going to start putting them at the top of the description. But yeah, if you listen to us exclusively on YouTube and you're in a similar situation to where he is, which is he was listening to us on his mobile device, he's a trucker and using up lots of his bandwidth. We've got an RSS feed. We're on iTunes.
We have an RSS feed that has the MP3s.
And also, if you don't really want to do any of that crap, you can still go to the YouTube videos, and from now on, in the description, specifically at the top, and in the older videos, it will be buried in the description somewhere, but a link to the MP3, so you can just listen to the audio.
Yeah, my video, it's, I think, the second paragraph. I have a link to both the website and our Twitter account.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly, because I do a lot of copy and pasting of that. But it's, I'm just wanting to make it crystal clear, because if someone does skip out on the ending spiel, which is perfectly fine, to make sure that they know that we're not just a YouTube podcast, that we actually have an iTunes thing. And by the way, I do want to talk to you once we're done here about getting on Google Play.
Okay.
Because I was trying to do that, but we need to do certain things with the RSS feed to do that.
Sure. I didn't
Full support.
even realize that they had podcasts on Google Play, to be honest.
I mean, granted, it is a much smaller market, but more coverage is always good, which is the reason why we have it on YouTube to begin with.
Yeah.
Is that I have over 100, and I think I'm at 113 subscribers now on my YouTube channel, and Jared's in the 60s.
Yeah.
And it's just casting a wider net. Because to be perfectly honest, there's a lot of video game podcasts out there.
I'm up to 62 subscribers. I lost a couple this week too, so
Oof.
it's all right. I'm up
but if
from
you
where I
do want to
started.
send in letters and tweets, you can send them in at vglpodcast@gmail.com or tweet them to either the host. Jared, say your Twitter, by the way. I'm changing this.
You can find me on Twitter at JMA4707.
And I'm at Gaming with CR. Or tweet to the official Twitter account, VGL Podcast, and we'll put them here.
Sweet.
Yeah. All right, so game recommendations
I
for
thought it
the
would
week.
be best to try to put our contact info around this area as well.
Stands
Sure.
to reason.
So, weekly picks?
Yep, I've got 2. You've got 4. Kyle, did you look up any while we were talking?
No. I'm
Okay.
thinking about bowing out at this point. It's real late here, and I got to get to work in the morning. If that's fine with you guys.
If you have to go, you have to
No,
go.
I don't have to.
I bet you didn't count on a 3-hour plus recording session.
No, I honestly did. You know what? Screw it. I've been here this long. I'll see it out to the end. I'm not a quitter.
All right. Normally, we're wrapping up at this point, like at 3. This is usually how long every recording is, but we're behind because we
I
managed.
don't know how, but I blame Biff.
Biff was right. We did go long.
Oh, my.
All right. Ooh.
Well, let's get to the weekly pick so we don't make the 4-hour mark.
Right. I also have to do things tomorrow, but obviously I can't quit. So
Oh, you can. You're just not trying hard enough.
You just can't quit me.
you're right. I can't quit you. I can't get enough of your
Okay,
sexy body.
weekly picks, and let's go with the obvious choice that you didn't get.
I only made one guess, but go ahead.
I'll let you make one more guess then.
I don't remember if I said it when exactly I said it, but the first choice I said was Euro Truck Simulator. You said that was wrong.
Yeah.
Let's see. Second choice. Oh, there's so many games. There's like 250 games on sale or something like that this week.
Yeah, but come on, the obvious choice for me.
I don't know. Hang on.
Ugh.
Elevator music time.
Do. All right. While we're in the elevator music time, where the heck are the weekly deals? I'm having issues, dudes.
I always look them up
They're
on.
no longer on the front page. You have to actually go to search week-long deals.
I always look them up there.
Yeah, which then I have to sanitize those links.
All right.
Well, I don't have to, but
Week long deals.
I don't know, Rach. I give up.
Binding of Isaac.
Oh.
Was Binding of Isaac on sale?
Yes.
Oh, that's the problem too with Steam DB. Not everything shows up properly. Because
And
I don't
that's why I
see the
don't
Binding
use
of
it.
Isaac on here.
Okay. Daily deal.
This is why I don't use that site. Binding of Isaac Rebirth. Between this and the original game, I have something on the order of 700 hours between them. It's a roguelite twin-stick shooter. It is a lot slower than most of the genre. And it definitely is not for everyone because it does have a lot of really gross-out humor. But if you get beyond that, it has a ton of replayability. Like I said, I have 700 hours between this and the original version, which wasn't nearly as good because it was coded in Flash. Not that there's anything wrong with Flash, but it just couldn't support a game like Binding of Isaac all that well. It has a really, really twisted sense of humor, very gross. Do not Google pretty much any of the items, not for spoilers, but because they're kind of gross.
Download all the items.
But it is kind of a wiki game. It's a roguelite, so it's very light on what it tells you about particular items. You have to figure them out. But you can use an unofficial wiki, I should say, to kind of spoil it for you if you really want to find out what things do. But right now, it is 34% off of its normal price, which is $14.99, bringing it down to $9.89. Its expansion, Afterbirth, is also on sale from $10.99 down to $8.24, and it will have another expansion out probably in about 3 or 4 months from now called Afterbirth Plus, which adds quite a bit more content. It was actually one of the games I'm looking forward to, which I'm still looking forward to, but I'm kind of taking a break from Binding of Isaac just because I'm no longer recording it, and I have 700 hours between it and its original version.
Yeah, and 100 Let's Plays on YouTube or more?
I think over 100 on each of the original Binding of Isaac Rebirth, and then about 100 of Afterbirth as well.
Yeah, so lots of Let's Plays of that.
Yeah, of me playing it very poorly, I might add. But I did beat the game several times on YouTube, so there is that.
Like a boss. Several times out of several hundred. You have a better success rate than me, though.
Well, that's because you don't play that genre.
Exactly. All right, I will take a turn, even though you've got 4 games. I want to take a turn. So my first game is a little game by the name of Orion Prelude. Have you ever wanted to kill dinosaurs with your friends in a horde mode wave-based combat shooter? Well, this is the game for you. It's multiplayer only. You can play it with bots, although I would suggest not doing that. Number one, the bots suck, and number two, it's more fun to play with people. There's a lot of workshop content for it, maps, art styles, lots of stuff like that. And the best part, normally the game only costs $1, but on sale for 51% off, it costs 49 cents. It's a outside of its theme, it's a fairly generic first-person shooter. But it's so cheap, and you can have such a good time with your friends. We've done a couple of streams playing the game.
I will say that the gameplay does get a little samey after a while.
The gameplay gets pretty repetitive pretty quickly. A couple hours, and the game has outstayed its welcome. But, for 50 cents, 2 hours of gameplay, that's good enough for me.
Plus, it isn't bad to go back once in a while. It's just, you don't want to play it for too long right away.
Right. Oh, the game actually does not run very well. I will say it's poorly optimized. It only exists in 32-bit form, so you're limited to 4 gigs of RAM, and the game is not optimized, so it's got some stuttering and some issues. I don't think I've ever had it crash. I've played it probably 12 or 14 hours. It's never crashed on me, but it has had some weird frame rate hitches and freeze ups and such. So be careful with it if you've not got a pretty decently powerful machine. But yeah,
okay, shall I take over again?
Yep, you go with your next game.
My last two, I could combine into one because you'll see. But my next one up is Night Sky, a physics-based platformer.
Night Sky. Is it
this is one word.
K-N or N-I-G-H-T?
N-I.
Okay.
Yeah, neat.
Night Sky.
not a lot of story behind it. It's just literally a ball rolling around a level. But it has a Limbo-esque art style to it, black and white. But what's neat about it is that they do a lot with the physics on it. For example, on a few levels, you're actually climbing into a vehicle, and the ball turns the wheels of the vehicle to go through the level. For what sounds like a very, very simple game, it has a lot of gameplay on it and a lot of variance on what they do with just very simple physics.
It looks neat. Not my style of game, obviously.
Yeah, because
as I've said, well, it's 2D and it's a platformer.
And it's puzzle.
Well, I like puzzle games. Just not.
I will say it's more of a physics puzzle platformer than it is a pure platformer. You don't have the ability to jump, for example. To traverse a level, you have to spin up, almost Sonic style, spin in place for some levels to get some speed to hit a ramp.
Right.
But there's some areas in that game that was just so satisfying to hit just right. So instead of taking like one jump, then speeding up and hit another jump, do it all in one go. It was just very, very satisfying.
Interesting. I mean, it looks neat. It sounds neat. I don't think I would like it, again, because of, how I feel about those types of games. But I can't appreciate games that necessarily wouldn't be my thing when they look like they're doing something well. And I appreciate that game for what it is.
Yeah, I will say that its normal price is a bit pricey for what it is, just because it is a rather old game. I originally played it in 2011, if I recall correctly. Its normal price is $10, $9.99. It's 51% off, a bit of an oddball number, which brings it down to $4.89. I think that's about the right price for it. And I don't recall how long it took me to beat it, but I did beat it. And there wasn't really any levels that I recall correctly that were major bullshit levels. Just pulled a mechanic out that made no sense. It was logical the entire way through with its puzzles.
Right.
But I really enjoyed it.
All right. Next on my list is a little game by the name of Footlol, FOOTLOL, Epic Fail Edition. Why are you making that noise? Do you know what this game is?
Just that title.
This is a wacky little soccer game. So you don't have direct control of the players on your team. Instead, you're trying to help the players on your team by using various items like landmines and missiles and meteors and high-altitude bombings and shields to help your players defeat the other players or defeat the other team. You're playing soccer, or football, as it's known in the rest of the world. You're just trying to help them score the most goals. And it's wacky and silly and funny, and things can just get out of hand really quickly with some of the more crazy late game items, like the spaceships that drop and abduct cows onto the playing field to help teams out, and the cows are...
I'm pretty sure that's interference.
The cows are very powerful soccer players.
Just like real life.
Yeah. So it's a really fun, zany, wacky game. I've played it a bit, maybe 5 or 6 hours, and it's a game that I pick up every once in a while. Like, if I want to kill some time or if I need a good laugh, it's like I'll play some Footlol and kill some soccer players with landmines on the moon.
If I wanted to kill sports, athletes, I'll just fire up Blood Bowl.
That's true. Blood Bowl would be better for that, but this is, I don't know, it's just wacky and fun. Normally it's $5.
Well, so is Blood Bowl.
Blood Bowl is, yeah, I guess, but this is different. Like, this is just cutesy and silly.
Yeah, it's not
Blood
epic
Bowl
fail.
is, yeah.
Oh wait, Blood Bowl is epic fail at times. Fucking elves.
Anyways, it's normally $5. It's on sale for 66% off. So it currently will cost you $1.69. So if you're looking for something to kill some time every once in a while that hopefully will make you laugh, then this might be right up your alley.
Okay, and it's time for my last pair,
Right?
which I've deviated from the program once again.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but for a good reason. As we're recording this, it's turned over to May the 4th, which is Star Wars Day. And
Yeah, it
Steam
is.
does a Star Wars sale, which just happens
do.
to end on Monday, which is the same day that the weekly sale ends. So I dug into that and got Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Nice. Excellent choices.
Nice picks.
If you're
I'm not sure if anything really needs to be said about these, to be perfectly honest.
if you're gonna buy KOTOR 2, go get, I forget right off the top of my head what the name of the mod
The
is.
cut content.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: is that the Knights of the Old Republic 2 on Steam has gotten workshop support in the last year, and has that mod on the workshop. So it's literally just pressing a button now to install it.
Yep, and you want to install that mod. KOTOR 2 was, in my opinion, a better game than KOTOR 1, but the
I honestly
story...
haven't played the second one yet. I haven't gotten through the first one,
I've
but it was still good enough to throw on here.
I've played these games many, many, many times. Back in, gosh, what year? When did they come out? 2004, 05?
They're very old at this point.
I mean, they came out in the early to mid 2000s. I'm looking at KOTOR now. It looks like it came out in 2005. Or sorry, KOTOR 2 came out in 05. But anyways, that was like middle school to high school for me. And I had a friend that used to come
You
over to
just
my...
don't make me feel old.
Yes. I had a friend that used to come over to my house, and he would spend like the night or the weekend or whatever, and we would actually play through KOTOR or KOTOR 2 whenever he would come over and spend like a couple of days during the summer or whatever, and we would like make a character, agree on what the character was going to be, and we would play in shifts and beat the entire game.
Wow.
And I've played through both of those games probably a dozen times each, just doing different stuff. Like one time it's like, okay, we're going to be as light side as possible. Okay, we're going to be as dark side as possible. Okay, we're going to try and stay completely neutral. Okay, we're only going to use blasters. We're only going to use one lightsaber. We're not going to use the Force at all. And just like all kinds of different ways
We're
to
going
play
to kill
through the
Jar
game.
Jar.
Sadly, you couldn't do that. But, so, I love those games. And I've played through them again since, because I bought them on Steam and played through each of them on Steam. In like the last 2 years.
Well, that pretty much covers my pick.
Yep. And Kyle has been very quiet.
Kyle, wake up.
You still hanging on down there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm hanging on down. I think you guys both live south
That's
of
true.
me.
We both
Anyways,
live south of you. I don't know why I sit down. Over. Whatever. You're
Well, he
fine.
lives
Yeah,
in
I'm
the
good to go,
oven-
man.
In an oven mitt, so.
yeah, we do. Actually, my never mind. It's nothing to do with anything.
Well, go ahead and say it then, because it fits on this podcast.
Oh, I was gonna say, recently the town that I live in, got some shade because we've got these really dumb ads for. It's basically all of our tourism ads called Pure Michigan, and they play this really soothing piano music over it. And basically, they wanted to focus on the whole county that I live in, but apparently they shot basically all of their stock footage in my hometown. And apparently that pissed off basically every winery that's not stationed in my hometown. And I don't know what you know about Southwest Michigan. We have a fuck ton of wineries.
I did not know that, but I do now. I guess next
And
time
I
I
think
want
I
some
know
good...
where you're planning your trip now.
Dude, I love wine. That is my alcohol of choice most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, within... This will probably make you happy. Within about a 20-mile radius of me, I can name off at least 10 wineries.
Nice. There's
If you listen closely, you can hear Jared packing his bags.
there's one winery within 30 miles of me, and I go there a lot.
I just go down to the liquor cabinet, mostly because they sell booze there, and I'm not picky.
The closest liquor store to me is a 45-minute drive.
Holy shit, God, I'm really happy I live in a city now.
I live in a dry county, and for some reason, the closest town to me, which is not a dry county, they don't have a single liquor store in the whole county.
Dude, they could be making
the whole town.
bank.
Not one. And I don't understand it at all.
Yeah, but
they
how
could be
many
making
Starbucks
bank.
are there?
3.
Oh, there you go.
You know what's weird? We actually have less Starbucks than wineries right up in this area.
That's amazing. I want to live.
Yeah,
Not
it's
for
pretty
long.
cool.
I want to live where you live.
Well, we have some pretty tight rules about like what can go where. So,
Oh,
like,
wow.
they basically stapled themselves into a grocery store. And yeah, it's a good place if you don't mind being super cold for like 4 months of the year.
Dude,
Oh, only 4?
I'm a bear.
Yeah, I've seen your
I
picture,
love the cold.
which is apparently some kind of diss now, but didn't mean to kill Rage with that one.
Oh man, now I'm obligated to leave that coffin.
Yeah, you are, putting you on the spot. And they never heard from Kyle again.
I can just mute you. I can mute both audio tracks for a little while.
Oh shit. Well, then you just sound like a crazy man talking about, yeah, I really want to live where you live. Yeah, that sounds great.
You're right. That all sounds like too much work. I'll just leave it.
Yes.
Wait a second. Star Wars Rogue Squadron 3D. Rogue Squadron is now on Steam?
And
That's
this
us.
is why you pay attention to the other sales when doing your picks and not rely on a site that doesn't have all the weekly sales.
But I don't want to play Rogue Squadron on PC. I don't know. That's a long, convoluted conversation.
Oh, more
Dude, you'd be dropping a crisp
I
more
love
Frankenstein
Lincoln on
episode
this.
stuff.
I love Rogue Squadron. I played that game so much when I was a kid, but it looks so bad. I don't want it to look even worse on my nice, crisp 1080p monitor. I don't know if it can even do 60 FPS. I don't know. I'm going to put it on my wish list anyways, because I'll probably change my mind in the future and just make it easier to find.
Besides, you only have half the games on Steam on your wish list.
Yeah, so I need to add some more.
What you need is a spreadsheet where you can just import them all.
Isn't
To
that
your
what
wish
Eve
list.
is for?
That would be amazing. I have my Eve spreadsheet now has over 100 items on it.
Dude, I work with spreadsheets. We don't have that many items.
I've got 100 items that each have characteristics that fit into 5 categories, plus a description category.
Oh, do go on.
I'm very, very efficient. I manage all of our corpse blueprints and their research status and which ones are available for production and which ones nobody's allowed to touch because I'm focused on them for some reason or another. It's shared with all the corp higher ups, and they are all amazed. Like, why? They're like, why do you do this? And I'm like, because Eve is life.
Because you're OCD.
Well, I was going to say,
I
I was actually going to go the Matthew McConaughey direction. You don't do it because it makes sense. You do it because you love it.
No, I know him. It's OCD.
yeah, it's OCD.
Why do you think the podcast comes out at 12:01?
It comes out at 12:01?
Yes.
Dude, normally I'm asleep at that time.
It comes out 1 minute after noon.
Yeah, I'm usually just snoozing at my desk. What the fuck are you talking about?
I try not to let it bother me, but it bothers me. It still bothers me.
New goal. I need to call Jared up on Skype at the same time he's trying to upload it just to, like, slow down that upload to 12:02.
Dude, I've got really good internet.
I'm gonna have to get a bunch of... No, that's malicious. I shouldn't do that.
Plus, I usually upload on Thursday.
Oh, you clever son of a bitch.
Yeah. Okay. I do
So
believe
shall we
that.
wrap this up so we could get out of here?
I do believe it's time to move on to the wrapping up portion of the podcast.
I believe it is.
So shall we have our guest go first on this?
Sure.
Okay, I'm Kyle, and if you want to find me, best of luck. I only really have a Twitter that I'm quite active on. That is at chocolate, no E, audible, mostly due to a joke from another podcast. You could, I guess, find me.
Yeah,
I
we never
follow,
did give you a nickname now that I think about it.
Oh, sweet Jesus, no.
Just learn to roll with it.
Yeah, I probably should. Anyways, yeah, like I said, I'm not really on the internet anymore, but I check my Twitter fairly frequently, so if you want to get in contact with me, that's how.
Fancy.
Yep.
Rage, what's going on with you this week?
Oh, well, as you heard approximately 4 hours ago, I started a new series on my YouTube.
Jesus.
No, it's only been 3.5.
Well, the Skype call's up to almost 4 hours.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
Well, I'm looking at my timer that I stopped when we took a break. Which, take a drink, by the way.
Take a drink.
I started a new series that's probably going to last until nearly the end of the year. The Last Remnant. Japanese as fuck.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, callback. I described the whole plot of that game. Why are you still playing it? You know what happens.
Yeah, he told you what happens.
Yeah, but it doesn't have all the tactical combat.
Play XCOM while you listen to my description? I don't know.
I'm terrible at XCOM. I never do the base building correctly. But beyond that, I still have Darksiders. I think it's starting to wrap up, at least where I've recorded. I did have Darksiders crash on me, though, so I'm going to have to see if that's a show-stopping crash. I haven't tried recording it again since then. Or just how far it sent me back, because I ended up fucking with a bunch of elevators for about 15 minutes until I realized what I was supposed to do on that puzzle. But I think that's the fun part of me trying to figure out something is I'm utterly and completely wrong, and people are, well, assuming people are watching it, are yelling at the screen just how stupid I am.
I just laugh at you when I watch your videos and that happens.
Yeah, I think you'd love the latest one that just went live. Because I didn't realize that there was an equip menu because I hadn't used it ever. I just always had what I needed equipped.
You didn't realize there was an equipment menu.
Because I always had it equipped, and I don't play those style of games. I don't play the Zelda style games.
You didn't realize there was an equipment menu.
No, I think I get what he's saying.
It was
Well,
late.
hey, it was late.
It was late, and I was just skipping over the fact that there was an equipment menu that it unequipped the item that I needed. Yes, it was completely and utterly stupid, and yes, it is on YouTube.
Excellent.
Nice.
I will go and make the comment there.
So I could delete it.
I guess you could.
All right, Barbara Streisand.
What can I say? It was late, and I hadn't used the equipment menu in over 30 episodes at that point. I mean, looking back, I should have thought of it, but every time that there's been something that I had to go back through, it had changed how I go through. So, it was just me being completely stupid and anticipating the game was going to do something that it didn't. And it was late, and I was probably about half asleep at that point. And, of course, there's also the Terraria co-op that's still ongoing, assuming Jared still wants to be around me when I'm that stupid.
Yes. What do you mean stupid? You weren't being stupid. Honestly, the last few episodes we recorded on Saturday were the best because we...
Well, I was talking about, my stupidity and gaming in general.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Those were the best ones we recorded so far because we had some actually very fun conversations about stuff that was outside video games. And I won't say any more so that you have to go watch it.
We already spoiled it. That's the thing.
Did we? I forget
Yes.
maybe I'll cut it.
Or just bleep it. I mean, if it's not in the Franken episode stuff.
I'm glad I don't edit this.
This one's gonna be a mess. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Rage, this is gonna be one that you get
is.
like late Thursday night. Like, okay, I just got it fixed. I'm just warning you. That's probably going to happen.
So in other words, make sure I'm up Thursday night so I get the VOD done on time. Got it.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Feels good not having any responsibilities with this.
Oh no, you're responsible for this.
Oh god.
After
no.
Biff, we blame you next.
What the fuck happened to Amy?
She's never
I
been
don't know
blamed.
what happened to Amy. She's still moving, isn't she?
Well, no, I
moving
was
to
saying
the
about
land
like.
of the rising badger.
Well, no, I was saying about the chain of blame.
Oh, you know, it kind of skips over Amy, mostly because she scares me.
Huh. Wouldn't have called that.
Well, it's a badger. What do you expect?
It's not a honey badger, just a
Yeah,
regular
so
that's
she
badger.
does
true.
care.
She does care.
That's right.
Yeah, she does care if I blame her. So I'll skip her.
So is it my turn?
Moving on.
Well, I was going to say, the podcast also goes live on my channel on Friday afternoons. And there's the Sunday Sampler, which who knows when will show up there, because even I don't know as of yet. Okay, now it's your turn. Oh, well, wait, I didn't do my Twitter, did I? Gaming with
No.
CR. There, now it's your turn.
Right. So this week on my channel, I need to do some work and finish editing some videos I've talked about like 2 or 3 times on the podcast, and get those posted. Otherwise, it's going to be Terraria and, of course, the podcast when it releases, which, if you're listening to this on my YouTube channel, obviously it's there.
But remember, there is an audio version.
There is an audio version. Outside of that, I am going through a transition period because the clinic that I counsel at is at a school.
No
and
comment.
They just wrapped up. Haha. Anyways, they just wrapped up their semester, and so I'm having to do a ton of end of the semester paperwork and get ready for the summer clinical hours and activities. So I've been buried in paperwork for like, I don't know, 4 days now. I worked on it over the weekend. I worked on it yesterday. I've worked on it today. I will probably be working on it tomorrow and the next day and the next day. So
I hope you find time to edit this mess.
I will. A lot of the paperwork can be pushed off into the future.
Nice.
I've got until next. When does the next semester start? I've got until next Thursday to finish all the paperwork. So I will. I'll have time to edit the podcast and then probably do paperwork over the weekend.
All right, and have you actually caught up on Terraria?
No. Because I didn't schedule any more videos. So I caught you and then you pulled back ahead. I'll fix it. I swear I'll fix it one day eventually. They'll be right. For one
Yeah,
glorious
at least
moment.
we're recording them, right?
Yeah, we're recording them and I'm still getting them out. Like they're coming. They're coming. If you're watching the Terraria videos on my channel, go check out Rage's channel to see if there's new ones from his perspective that I don't have yet.
Yeah, let's see. The next one is going to be number 13, which goes out tomorrow.
Yeah, I think 11 was the last one I posted. 11 went up Friday.
Yeah, Terraria actually is performing fairly well on my channel.
And surprisingly, it's doing pretty well for me too, despite the fact that I'm so off kilter.
Probably I'm getting quite a few views because people are getting to the end of yours. It's like, wait a minute.
Things don't seem right here.
This math doesn't add up.
But my YouTube channel, in case you're unaware, is Gaming Psychologist. You can find me over on Twitter at JMA4707. You can find us streaming on Twitch, which we're still going to be streaming Tabletop Simulator.
Until the end of time.
We'll be streaming Dead of Winter Wednesday, which obviously this is past Wednesday, but you can go watch the VOD. And listen.
And probably Friday, which if you catch this early enough.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how you set through the podcast so quickly because it's going to be like 4 or 5 hours.
Actually,
my timer is showing 3:23 right now.
our recording time is 3:38. So
That's what I have.
So with things that get cut out for the Franken episode, we might actually wind up close to 3 hours because we had basically zero community corner and we sped through the last bit of the show.
Yeah, but not now.
No. But anyways.
Just keep drawing attention to it, guys. Just keep drawing attention to
anyways,
it.
If you want to...
We're trying to kill anybody that's playing the drinking game.
Fuck.
I think I've already killed them with my language already.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, don't play the postscript or post-mortem, as the case may be. Don't play the drinking episode. Don't play the drinking game to this episode.
Oh, look at it this way. They'll be a very well-preserved zombie. Because they're not going to be pickled.
Just don't smoke around them.
Anyways, I've tried to say this like 3 or 4 times.
So, hey, have I told you guys about the one time...
And mute Kyle. If you want to catch me streaming with Rage and maybe Kyle and some of our other people that we hang out with...
Assuming we keep them around at this point.
Yeah, that's...
You can do that over at twitch.tv/jarthur4707. All right, I'm done. Rage, thank the people and things that support us.
Yeah, a big thanks goes out to the Internet Archive, who unwittingly puts up with this nonsense.
Yep, gigabytes of information has been stored by them for your listening pleasure or pain.
Completely wasted. Which, are we going to launch the Patreon this week? We've been talking about this over and over again, and I still need to fix the banner, but...
Yes, we should just...
it is good enough.
We should just launch it. It's good enough. We should just launch it. We can always tweak it later and add stuff to it.
My.
But, I mean, we want that sweet, sweet internet money, so...
Yes, the dollars and dollars. I use that singularly.
The cents and cents. You know, if we
It
got...
will be the first time that there's any sense with this podcast.
Hey-o. You know, if we got enough internet Patreon money, we could shove loads of copyrighted content into the podcast, and it wouldn't matter.
In theory, that's true.
Yeah, until it gets both our channels shut down on YouTube, then it would matter. Well, it would matter to me because I've actually put a lot of effort in my channel.
I put effort into my channel. It's just more disorganized than your channel.
Well, I have something like 700 videos now, I think.
I'm up to...
Actually, what is my video count? I need to go check that.
Oh, no. Here we go again. Off topic we go.
Yay. And there was much rejoicing, because why the hell not?
If you wanted people to stay on topic, well, why are you listening to this podcast?
Because it's generally entertaining, it's relatively smart
actually,
at
I'm
times,
almost
and makes me
up to
laugh.
700 videos. I'm at 647 counting what I have uploaded right now and not released.
That is a lot of videos.
It's more than I ever had.
I think I crested the 100 mark. Oh, no. Shoot. I'm almost at 200. I have 197.
It goes up quickly, doesn't it?
Now you got me curious.
Oh, my.
That's what she said.
Fuck.
She also said that.
Okay. God damn it, don't stick it in there.
She said that. She says that a lot.
Now I'm just softballing it. Alright, just... oh my god, no.
Well, while you look that up, if you wish to contribute to this utter nonsense, you can tweet us at VGL Podcast on Twitter or email us at vglpodcast@gmail.com with your letters, voicemail, and wondering what the hell we're talking about.
Oh.
Or you could go to the website, videogamelogicpodcast.blogspot.com, and which has the RSS feed for this utter nonsense.
The best utter nonsense.
And now we're waiting on Kyle.
Elevator music.
Yeah, I don't think this is... Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. How many goddamn videos do I have?
7.
A lot more than that. Give me a second.
17.
Analytical. No, I was pretty big back in the day.
Oh my.
God damn. Uploads. Okay. Give me Give me Lifetime, please. Okay.
You know, you just have to go
Watch
to the video manager, and it's right there.
Yeah, I got that. Ah, fuck. The video manager, and it's where? God
At the
damn
very
it,
top.
motherfucking cup. Okay. At the very top. Okay, I'm apparently too stupid for the new YouTube. Alright, well, let's just see.
Yeah, under Creator Studio, click Video Manager, and at the very top it says Videos, then it has a number in a gray box. That's your number.
Oh. Well, that's easy enough. Oh, 199. Man, I really should get a 200th video up.
Well, there you go.
And now as the music goes over Jared's voice.
No. You can't steal my line. And
I'm just trying to get us out of here.
For your 200th video, Kyle, I'll send you a copy of the audio for the podcast, and you can put that over something.
Oh, please, fuck no.
All right, now, as the audio starts to roll across my voice, bye-bye now.
Talk to you next time.
It's been fun.
Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to another episode of Video Game Logic. I'm your host, Gaming Psychologist. Oh, I screwed it up already. All right, take
Good
two.
job.
Take two. I missed the show date. Completely missed it. I was thinking about introducing.
Well, hey, if you wait another
we don't even
hour
need to get
and
him off
15,
track.
It'll be a mix.